What is up, y'all? Welcome to Game Day with Heavy Cardboard, where we teach, play, and discuss medium and heavy strategy board games, war games, 18xx. I am your host, Edward Euler. Happy to be joined by another human in the studio.
Andrew, hi.
All right, so today we are bringing y'all Hands in the Sea, designed by Daniel Berger and published by Nightworks. So welcome everybody watching live around the world, as well as after the fact. Before we get started, big thanks to all the patrons who help make all of this possible. Without them, this ain't happening. Special shout out to Krasimir Kolev, and say thanks for being a patron and choosing to support the show. So before we get started, a reminder, if you guys do enjoy the show, give it a thumb. It helps the channel. It really, really does. On top of that, you could subscribe, hit the little bell notification. The little bell so that you get notified whenever we go live. And if you want to join the herd and support the show, for if you think what we do here on Heavy Cardboard's worth $1 or $2 a month, certainly would appreciate it. You can go to pledgehc.com. Hands in the Sea. So this was one of the very first prototypes that we ever were sent as Heavy Cardboard. This, Nightworks is based out of Colorado Springs. We were in Denver. Daniel Berger lived in the Denver area as well, so it just kind of all made sense. And we, kind of featured. There is a specific strategy that can be implemented that basically breaks the game. It's called the Halifax Hammer. I have a few acres of snow. Few acres of snow. I think I've been saying the wrong thing. Anyway, in a few acres of snow, there is the Halifax Hammer. I don't know how I've intentionally I've avoided looking what the strategy is, and I still enjoy the game. This game takes that system and implements it in the First Punic War, and it makes a Halifax Hammer effectively impossible. I couldn't tell you why, because I don't know how the Halifax Hammer works, because I've intentionally avoided finding that out so I could still enjoy the game. That said, we both have played it numerous times, but we've only played it against another person once or twice. So keep that in mind. High strategy, this will not be. No. But it will be a lot of fun. So it should be a good time. So if you're ready, sir.
Sure.
And hopefully y'all are ready. Let's get into I almost said a few acres of snow. That's funny. Let's get into Hands in the Sea. Oh, you know what? Whoa! Hold on. We wanted to preface something real quick. Some people are going to say something, social distancing, yada, yada, yada. You are, I think, the 5th person that I have seen in over 2 weeks. And that includes my postman, the guy I picked up my tacos from yesterday, and the lady I picked up my Aussie cheese fries from in Outback. So moral of the story is I don't leave the house really, hardly ever. And
yeah, we're kind of, we're fine health-wise, but we're essentially self-quarantining because we're getting almost all of our groceries delivered, or we're getting curbside pickup of groceries, and otherwise just not like I go outside to walk my dogs. I go outside to maybe do a walk with my daughter around the block, and that's kind of it.
Right.
And you're outside of my immediate family, which is my wife and my daughter. You might be the only person I have been within 6 feet of in the last over 2 weeks.
Be still my heart.
Yes.
So needless to say, we're doing our part. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
I decided to wait after last week when everything really came to a head, and then you talked to your wife, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm cool with that." It's one person.
And I think we also wanted to like do this in a way that didn't feel like we were just ignoring everything that was going on,
Right.
you know, and be like, we're trying to be smart about it, but I don't mean to be glib, but kind of coming here feels less risky to me than going to the grocery store. So, yeah.
So there's that. All right. So there we go. So without further ado, trying to do our part, but hopefully entertaining you guys, but also teaching you guys how to play Hands in the Sea. All right. Now, I'm a huge, huge fan of Roman history. The very first podcast that I ever listened to, when I discovered that podcasts were a thing, was Mike Duncan's The History of Rome, which is still to this day, in my opinion, the single best podcast in existence.
It's fantastic.
I absolutely love it. He is able to introduce the Battle of Hoth as if it were historically accurate. It was amazing. And so, yeah, Mike Duncan plays a huge role in the existence of heavy cardboard. I also, the moral of the story, whatever, is Roman history, huge fan. So this game is right in my wheelhouse. So Hands in the Sea is a 2-player deck-building war game set in the First Punic War. It's a series of three wars between Rome and Carthage. This one, the First Punic War, takes place from 264 to 241 BC. All right? So, what is it you guys are actually looking at here on the board? Well, on the main board itself, first off, in the top right-hand corner, we have the turn track, as you can see up there. Now, the only thing I should point out, we are playing with the second edition, which is Andrew's version. We originally played with my first edition when we first played it. The component quality, just everything is just better in the second edition.
Yeah.
Rules-wise, nothing's changed. There have been some clarifications in the second edition, but component-wise is the only thing that has changed. On that note, the only thing that is not standard is that cube. And the reason is it comes with a gray marker, which
I'm gonna pull out.
right there. So it's a gray marker. The yellow cube shows up better on camera, so just replace it. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else is standard. So we have the turn track, or the round track, turn track. I'm going to interchange those. Then down below that, we have the pillage track. Then on each side of the board, we have the Roman side and the Carthage side. Now, on both sides, we have a battle strength track here. And then on the other end, we have a prestige track there for the respective sides. Battle tracks only get used during, you guessed it, battles. Prestige is permanent. Down below that, you'll notice the Roman warship count, how many warships each side has and is represented. Carthage starts at 2. The Romans, not exactly known as seafaring folk, start at 0. But that will probably change as the game goes on. Now, the map here, obviously, we have the boot of Italy, as well as we have Sicily, we have Africa, which is where Carthage is, and then we have Corsica and Sardinia. Now, within each of those areas, we have different cities and towns. The towns are represented by these little squares out here, and the cities have the circles, the larger areas up there, usually are going to be worth victory points, as you can see here. Now, the starting areas are color coordinated, so we have the red for the Romans, and we have blue for the dirty Carthaginians, all right? And as you can see, Rome starts with a little bit over here in Sicily, as does Carthage. Syracuse is a neutral city, so it basically doesn't fight back, essentially. And then Carthage starts over here in Corrales, over here on the island of Sardinia, all right? So that's kind of what you're looking at for the most part. And then we have the victory point track down below, a little player aid, if you will, here. And then at the very top, we have a end of turn player aid up there as well. Then over on the side, we have each of our player tableaus. Now our player tableaus, we have battle areas, so whenever battles are going to take place, if it's a Roman started battle, I will be placing my cards here. The Carthaginians will be placing their cards there. And vice versa, if it's a Carthaginian instigated fight, then we will place our cards there. If we each get a strategy card, as you can see, a max of 1, we will be putting them there. Then each of us has our own deck of cards called an Empire deck here. Now, I have these face up because these are they're public knowledge, plus you never shuffle them. You actually go through and fish through any cards that you want. Our draw deck, however, is just like in any deck builder. You're going to have a deck of cards that's going to be randomized. You're going to shuffle it, etc., etc. A discard pile, and then our reserve. So as we get cards into our hand, we may want to reserve them so that they are not in our discard, they are not in our draw, nor are they in our Empire stack. Now, off board, over here on the left-hand side, we have kind of a common board. Now this board does not exist in the first edition, but the cards do, so it's just an easier place to store them. At the top here we have strategy cards, so we're allowed to have 1 strategy card at any one given time. This is the market for those. The cost is going to be the card here plus 2 silver or 2 coins or $2 or whatever. Here it is the card plus $1, so the card value in the top left-hand corner, and this is just the card value. Every round, except for the first one, we're also going to have an event that happens. It's going to suck for somebody usually. Usually. All right?
Usually me.
With the way you roll, that is true. We have neutral Empire cards, so each of us has our own Empire deck, but we're both going to have access to be able to acquire these cards into our draw decks or discard piles, because deck builders go into your discard first. And we also have neutral location cards. These neutral locations are for, you guessed it, these neutral locations that are out here that don't start on either side. So as we are able to settle those locations, we'll be adding those cards into our draw decks over here. Then, finally, we have our supplies. So we have our supplies of towns, which are the smaller buildings, and cities. Mine are going to be over here. There are fortifications or forts, which make it stronger to defend an area. Then each of us starts with battle dice, all right, which these will come into play for, I don't know, naval battles, and maybe if war elephants come out for the Carthaginians. However, they know who butters their bread, so they're actually Roman, even though they're supposed to be on the Carthaginian side. Our battle round marker, and then a battle round actually marker as well that will go on the track over here. So that is everything that you're looking at. Component-wise, there's also a handy-dandy little player aid that comes with the game that we're going to be using throughout the game as well. So that's what you're looking at, but how the hell do you play the game? Well, I could have written up this really fancy overview as I am wont to do. However, there's actually a pretty good one in the companion guide that comes with the game, so I'm just going to peruse that. So here we go. Each player has a starting deck of cards that they use to perform various actions, up to 2 per round. Actions include colonization, naval movement, and battle, with most activities centered in and around Sicily and Sardinia and Corsica. Sicily and... All right. The game will last several turns, up to a maximum of 12. At the end of each turn, players receive random events, collect income and score victory points. There are several paths to achieve victory, resulting from either having the highest score at the end of the game or capturing the opposing player's capital. So, there you go. That's kind of an overview, big picture of what it is that we're trying to do. Now, let's go over the game a little bit more in detail. Now, normally I would go completely in detail and give a detail of every single thing that you can do in the game. However, I'm not going to do that tonight. What I'm going to do is give detail of most everything, but there are some things like battles we're actually going to cover when we actually, get boots on the ground, so to speak. All right? All right. So, there are 4 types of cards in this game. There are location cards, which are locations. Here, as you can see, they have locations associated with them. There are empire cards, which are going to benefit your side. Usually, but not always, are going to be some sort of combat enhancement cards. Then there are event and strategy cards. So the events you'll see once per turn or round, and then the strategy cards as we acquire them. However, location cards really are, more or less, the engine that drives this game. If for any reason you lose a location on the board due to some reason, but the opponent doesn't settle it, it essentially becomes a dead card in your hand. So it just clutters. So be careful of when that happens. All right? So the cards consist of the value of the actual city in which it is. So Thuri right here, or Masana. You'll notice, in fact, Regium as well. These are all worth 2 points when scoring. And you'll notice that Regium, Masana, and Thuri all show 2 points right there on the cards as well. Then, if you wish to be able to travel for attacking or for colonizing or for settling, I should say, via, check that, for battling mostly, via wagon, these are the cities that can be reached. If you wish to travel via boat, these are the cities that can be reached. And then at the bottom of the card, you'll notice that some of these have an S for starter cards. And then they're going to have some sort of icons on it, which are going to be associated with what actions those cards can help with. Okay? All right. So a given round, except with the exception of the first round, it goes like this. First, check to see if you've won a land battle. We're going to double back to that because that's the very first thing that happens on a turn, but we're going to skip that for right now. Then you must perform 2 actions. In the first round, you must perform 1 action. Outside of that, it's 2 actions. One player takes both of their actions, then play switches to the other side. Rome, being the amazing empire that it is, of course, has honor and will go first. All right. Now, there are a bunch of actions that are available to be taken in this game, and they are kind of broken up into essentially 5 different types of actions. There are expanse actions, which, well, they're for expanding your empire, whether it's settling a location, developing a location, or fortifying a location. All right. The next are financial actions, which obviously have to do with getting you some ducats, getting some money. Then there are strategy actions, which have to do with maybe strategy cards and acquiring those for the most part, as well as possibly discarding strategy cards. Then there are aggressive actions, which battles, so on and so forth. And then card management actions, whether you're drafting empire cards, reserving cards, stuff like that. And then there are some other actions as well, all right? So the best way that I know to teach this is to go over the various actions as they're listed for the most part. So we're going to go over the expanse actions first. So we'll talk about settling a location, all right? To settle a location, you must play a connected location card, all right? So what does that mean? Let's say I want to settle Tyndaris as an action. Well, I must have a connected location card. So let's take a look here. Do we have any of the location cards that are connected to Tyndaris? Well, what does that mean? It must either be listed via cart, which, oh hey, this one does, or it must be listed via boat. Okay, awesome, easy enough. So you'll notice that the Masana card is directly adjacent to Tyndaris. It's also directly adjacent to Katana, and it's directly adjacent across the little sea, the strait right there, to Regium. And wouldn't you know, those are the ones that are shown here via the cart, okay? So that's kind of a good way to know at a glance what ones are directly adjacent outside of actually looking on the map itself. All right, so that was step one, play a connected location card. All right, so playing a connected location card, we literally would play that into our discard pile. That's part one. Part two is now we have to play a card with the appropriate symbol, whether it is wagon or ship, depending on where it is. So this one is connected via wagon, so therefore we have to have a card in our tableau, which I have poorly planned on, I apologize. Let's say I also had that card in my hand that has a wagon. The location, nothing else about that matters. It's simply the icon down below has a wagon, so we're going to take this out here, and boom, we have done both of those. Now, if we were settling a location that had a colonist, so let's look at Sicily a little bit closer. So you'll notice that there is a colonist here for Agrigentum, whereas there is not for Tyndaris. So I don't need to worry about having a colonist. If I did, I would also have to discard a separate card that had a colonist. One thing I do want to point out here is I played the location, and even though that has a cart on it, I cannot use that cart because I played it for the location to be able to settle. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Then I played a settling card or a wagon card on that. Then, okay, hey, I have met all of the criteria that I need. Then I will take a town and throw it onto Tyndaris. I have now settled that town. Boom. All right? And then you're going to grab the neutral location. Okay, I'm lying. I will forget to do this, and Andrew will say, hey, don't forget to grab the card. Here is the Tyndaris card. This card then will come over and go into my discard pile, but it's now available, and now I can continue expansion, etc., etc. But that's going to be one of the main things that we're going to be doing in this game. Any questions on, and obviously these cards would go into my discard like so. Any questions on that?
Nope.
All right. So that is settling. Next, we'll talk about developing a location. Well, you'll notice that we both have a capital. I have Rome. He has dirty Carthage. All right. Those are special shapes. However, we also have cities. Cities are upgraded towns, essentially. All right. So to create or to go from a town to a city, you must develop a location. So how do you go about developing a location? Well, I'm glad you asked that. So it works just like this. You must have the location and play that card, the specific location, then play a card with a colonist symbol on it, and boom, you're done. So what does that look like? Okay, I play the Tyndaris card, then I play...
Well, it needs to have the colonist symbol on the city.
Do what now?
You can't, sorry.
Sorry, you're right. Yeah. I got you are correct. Play a card.
You can't develop Tyndaris because Tyndaris doesn't have
Thank you. It's a bad example. Let's do...
You could develop Masana.
Masana.
Yes.
I apologize. Thank you. I got tunnel vision there. Then you would have to play a colonist. So Masana there, then upgrades from a town to a city, which is going to be worth more victory points as the game progresses. There we go. All right. Thanks. My bad. All right. Let's get that back. I suppose you don't want me to start with Tyndaris.
No, I would prefer that, yes.
All right, fine. All right, and obviously any cards you play go into your discard pile from there. All right. The last of the expanse actions is fortifying a location. Well, fortifying is going to be important because we're going to be attacking one another. So fortifying cities and towns makes a lot of sense. So how do we go about fortifying? Well, fortifications look a lot like that. I guess technically like that. There we go. So to be able to fortify, you must have a fortification card. Well, fortification card is going to be, for some of us at least, it's going to be in our Empire deck. So we will have had to have acquired this card and then drawn this card to begin with. The fortification card says pay 3 silver and play a location card to build a fortification at that location. Yo, dog. Okay, easy enough. So provided I had this here, and then build a location okay, so let's say I want to fortify, say, Masana. So I would play these 2 cards out there, and then, hey, boom, Masana is now fortified. And it's going to stay there unless I lose the town, etc. Bad things happen. But it's going to help for the defensive value for whenever, if ever, it gets attacked. All right, and obviously pay 3 silver, so on and so forth. All right. So that is some of the most significant actions that we're going to be taking throughout the game, and those are going to be one of the ways we're going to be getting victory points in this game. So going through now the financial actions. So this is all about getting money. Well, all right, let's go through what those actions are now. First one, take money, or as I call it, tax. It's the easiest way for me to think of it. Play a location card and gain the silver as shown. Okay, if I played Masana, I'd get $1. If I played Regium or Thuri, I would get $2. So literally, that's an action. Okay, I play it, boom, I get $2 from the supply. There, boom, there you go. Easy enough. We don't need to belabor that. Done and done. All right, next action will be trading. Trading says you play a card with the ship symbol. So I could play either Regium or Naples. And I then can play 1 or 2 location cards and gain silver equal to the total shown. So what does that mean? I play Regium here. So normally I would just get $2 if I tax. But if I play this and discard it, then I can play 1 or 2 cards. So I could play both of these cards and get whatever the face value is in silver. So I get $4. Or I could just get the 3, but I could have done that if I just tax. Basically allows you to do a double tax.
Yeah.
And to get cards out of your hand. So I would play those 3 cards, I would get $4. Boom, done. I don't think we need to go over that much. The next one, I'm screwing up my deck a moment. The next one that I will go over is the merchant. That is going to require you having the Mercator card already from your Empire deck. If you have this, it says discard any number of cards that have a wine symbol on them and then get $2 for each card that you discard. So if I had some mix of those cards, which all have wine symbols, I could discard all 4 of these along with the Mercator card and get $2 a piece, regardless of if it had silver on it or not, as in this one does not. I would get $8 and I would discard all of those cards back into my discard pile. All right. The next one and the final financial action is the pillage card. Well, pillage sounds bad, and it can be if you're Rome. So you're allowed to do this a maximum of once per turn, meaning of your 2 actions, you cannot do a double pillage. You can only pillage once. What it requires to be able to pillage, and I'm just going to be ambitious here. Let's make that realistic. There we go. Is if you play a card with the ship symbol, okay, and you are in a sea zone. So there are 4 different sea zones in Hands of the Sea. Hands in the Sea. Italy, Sicily, Africa, and Sardinia and Corsica. If you are in a sea zone there adjacent, you play a card with a ship symbol that has a ship symbol on it. Cool. And if it's not blocked, I'll cover that in a little bit, you take silver from the opponent equal to half the number of ships in your fleet. Well, let's say I had 5 ships in that fleet. I would get half rounded down. So in other words, pay me. So I get to pillage that amount. So I would get $2 added to my supply, etc., etc. All right? Then I would move my pillage marker, or Andrew would, move it over 1 space. More realistically, you're going to see the blue marker go way up real quick. All right, now, those can be blocked. Okay, well, how can you block that? All right, well, there are cards in your Empire deck that say, may block a raid or pillage attempt. Okay, so if I attempted to say pillage, and then Andrew played a card that had that, indulge me, let's say this were his card, he were to play that, say, no, not so fast. Okay, I wasted the action, I don't get to pillage, I don't get his money. That card would then be discarded, but so would that one. Yep. So there we go. So Easy enough. All right? Now, if I were, say, in the Sicily sea zone, and I wanted to pillage something here in Africa, I can do that. To be able to do that, it would require me to play an additional ship for each sea zone that I am further away. So I'm not in the Africa sea zone. So I would need to play one to pillage, and then I would need to play a second ship card to then pillage one further away. So if I play one ship card, I could pillage here, but if not, I could then pillage over there. Okay? All right. Any questions on pillaging?
One thing I'll add is you have to say a specific location when you pillage, as in a town or city, and if the opposing player has that card for that location and shows that, that also blocks the pillage.
In their hand, if they have
their
it,
hand,
right?
yes.
Because there might be a time that, say, Hippo Regius ends up in Andrew's reserve. I'm aware, it's public knowledge. Oh, so maybe then I would play both of those ship cards if I were here to then say, hey, I'm going to pillage Hippo Regius. Well, I know you don't have the card,
right?
So then you would have to play something that says you can block a pillage. Right. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, cool. All right. So that is the financial actions. Strategy actions are really simple, and we're going to go over these very, very quickly, okay? All right, so here we go. The first one is discard a strategy card that you have in play. So if I have any of these, or Andrew does, it's an action to discard it. You're only ever allowed to have one. So once you've claimed one, then it takes an action to get rid of it, and then, you guessed it, another action to buy a strategy card. Purchase it. The cost is in the top left corner. So let's say I wanted the seamanship or the administration or the deep reserve cards. Well, as you look in the top left-hand corner, it's 5, 5, and 4 respectively, but the location of where they are, it's either going to cost a little bit more silver, a little bit less silver, or just face value. That's buying a strategy card. It immediately comes into play, and it immediately is a rule breaker for you and you only. The next option is to cycle strategy cards, and that's going to cost 0, 1, or 3 silver to do so. Cycle, meaning I don't want you to be able to get that card as an action. We're going to get rid of that card. That costs me 0. If I wish to then get rid of a second card here, that's going to cost 1 silver. Oh, not that one either. That's going to be 3 silver. And then we're going to put out new cards whenever we cycle through it. So that is discard, buy, and cycle strategy cards there. Any questions on that? No? Good. We'll move on. We're actually going to skip the aggressive actions for right now. Next, we're going to go into the card management actions. That's going to be stuff like drafting our Empire card. So to be able to draft an Empire card, you say, hey, I'm going to draft an Empire card. If it doesn't have a silver amount, you just put it into your discard pile. That's an action. Done. However, some of them are going to have silver requirements and possibly other requirements on them. So you'll notice this Equites card requires 4 silver. So you pay the 4 silver and it immediately will go into your discard. The Legion is 6 silver and you must discard a card that has a colonist on it. Now, what if you are super flush with cash or you're just desperate to get these cards in your hand? Well, normally when you draft a card from the Empire, it goes into the discard. If you choose to pay double the amount, it will go into the top of your draw deck, though, so that you draw it as the next card. And again, that's going to be public information. Any questions on drafting an Empire card?
So the emergency levy, which is when you pay twice the cost, you can only do with leaders, infantry, and cavalry.
Correct. So
there are some cards that cost money but aren't soldiers.
Fair point. Yeah, all right, fair point. Like there's like a console and stuff like that.
Yeah, and senatorial support. Yeah.
Or no, console is a leader, but you're right. Yes. Another action: discard a card. You don't like your hand? Discard a card. Okay, it's an action, so you can't discard your hand. Your hand being of 5 cards, you can only discard a card. All right. Whenever you choose to discard. All right. The first card though is free. Additional, So I guess you can discard your entire hand.
You
if
gotta
want.
pay.
You have to pay. The first hit is free. Each additional card is going to cost you a silver. All right. So if you want to discard 3 cards, it's going to cost you $2. Okay. All right. The next is return a card to the Empire deck. Maybe you just don't like a card for whatever reason in your hand. You could, even though you paid out the wazoo for this card, maybe you wish to put it back into your Empire deck. You can do so. You cannot do that with your capital, though, like Rome and Carthage respectively. Okay, easy enough. The next option is you could reserve a card. So let me set up a hand of cards, if I may. There we go. So let's say this is my hand of cards, and maybe I just don't think I'm going to use the Mercator anytime soon. Or, you know what, I'm not planning any aggressive actions, so I don't need the legions right now, maybe. You can choose to reserve a card. To reserve a card, you say, hey, I'm going to reserve a card, and you say what it is, and it goes into your reserve here. It's an action, and you're allowed to have a max of 5. There is a rule breaker that's out there that will change that, but this is going to put into your reserve to a maximum of 5 cards. Then, to retrieve your reserve, which is the next option, is you pay a silver per card. So let's say I had these 3 cards in there, and I really only want the Legion to come back. Well, when you choose to retrieve, it's a free action, so you don't actually, it doesn't cost you an action, but you have to pay a silver for every card, and they all come back into your hand. Now, there's no hand limit in Hands in the Sea. However, you only draw at the end of your turn up to 5 cards. So if you end your turn with 5 or more cards, you're not drawing any cards. So I may have only wanted the Legion, but I had to have taken everything that's in your reserve. So manipulating your reserve into being what you want it to be is going to be a key concept in this game. All right. There are some other actions, and then we're going to double back briefly to the aggressive actions, and then we're going to start the game after talking about how the game ends. So the other actions are a sea move. So your port is your home port. To move from there to a Z zone takes an action. No cards or anything, just to go from there to there, that's an action. To move from there to there is an action. Now, ships can freely coexist if you wish. We'll get on that in a little bit, but movement is an action, okay? And obviously, if you don't have a warship, you can't move it.
Yes.
So, at the beginning of the game, the Romans have none. So even though this starts on the board, I actually don't have any ships. So it's just in port getting ready to be built, maybe? In theory. All right?
In theory.
All right. And also, other ships do not impede movement. It's a big sea, so you can freely coexist as well as move around one another. Now, might be asking yourself, how do you get ships? Well, that's another action, which is building a warship. Now, this one can be a little bit kind of unintuitive, because to me, when I think building a warship, I think I have to have a ship symbol. Not so fast, my friend. You must play a card with a colonist symbol on it, okay?
You need the crew.
So think of it that way. It's got to be crewed, and that's what you're playing, is the crew. Then you're going to pay 3 silver from here to the supply, and hey, you increase your ship level by 1. So 0 to 1, 2 to 3, etc., etc. You can do that twice on a turn, but that's both your actions. It's 1 ship per ship build action, all right? You could pass, which is super rare in my experience, but you get a buck whenever you just pass for an action. I only want to take 1 action and get a buck. Okay?
Don't think I've ever done it.
Same.
Yeah.
All right. And the other free action is you can withdraw from a siege. So, look, I'm not going to be able to win. I will concede, and then I'm just going to be able to take my actions. I'll go over that when we actually get into battles themselves. All right. So I skipped the aggressive actions because honestly we're going to skip most of that until we actually reach those times during the game. But what are those? Attack a location, reinforce a land battle, engage an enemy fleet. So then, hey, if you no longer want to be friendly out there, then you can actually start a naval battle in doing so. You can do a cavalry raid, or you can bribe. We're going to cover all of the aggressive actions if and when they do come up during the game, all right? But that is how we're going to be able to claim other people's buildings for victory points and claim other areas out here on the board, okay, outside of settling neutral areas. So again, we're going to alternate, taking turns, 2 actions, 2 actions, 2 actions, 2 actions. A round will end when the Carthaginian player reaches the campaign card. Now, the campaign card, as you can see there, says what is on the end of a turn. So when that player draws that card, when the Carthaginian player draws that card, we're going to go through the end of turn steps. So it's going to interrupt a turn possibly, or right before the Romans take their turn, usually, is when this is going to happen. So we're going to do these in the order that it says. So, resolve a random event. Whatever the top card is, we're going to do it. Then we collect income. 1 silver per developed location. What's a developed location? A city. All right, so an upgraded town. Mm-hmm. So for each one, we each start with 2 of those on the board. So at the beginning of the second round, minimum, in theory, two bucks a piece. Then we're going to score victory points for captured neutral or enemy areas. So what we are not going to do is get points for any of our existing areas out there. We will only get for neutrals and enemy locations. All right. So the next step then is draw a new strategy card. Okay, what does that mean? We're going to cycle the cards. We're going to take the last card, punt it, slide, refill. Easy enough. Then advance the turn marker. All right, easy enough. Cool. And it actually shows, it's very small print, but you, I think, might be able to read it. It symbolizes what year we're in during the First Punic War. We're going to continue doing this until the game ends. The game ends, depending, it ends immediately if either of us wins a battle in the other player's capital. If so, you win. So if Andrew takes over Rome, it doesn't even have to settle it, just has to win a battle here. Or I win a battle in Carthage. Game ends immediately, you win the game. Or if at any point one player has a 25-point lead over the other player at the end of a campaign, okay? Or if they've captured every city in Sicily. So, 25-point lead, we will be tracking it down here, okay? Or captured every city in Sicily. Now, I say city or town. These represent cities, for whether they are, you know, one with a colonist or not. But usually towns versus cities, which are the upgraded one. But you get the idea. So own every location.
Right.
How's that? That'd probably be a better way to word that. That's how the game ends immediately. Own all that, 25-point lead, or win a battle in each other's capital. If that doesn't happen, at the end of a player's round, okay, if a player has placed all of their town or city tokens onto the board, these are piece limited. So that's why we're keeping these on the screen, so that you guys can see how many we need to be able to place. All right. If a player has captured 10 points worth of town or city tokens from their opponent, towns are worth 1 point, cities are worth 2 points apiece. When we get into battles, we're actually going to be claiming these. If you lose these, they go to your opponent. You don't get them back. So that's how you're going to be powering through some of these potentially. Or if a player has 8 prestige points, so winning battles, stuff like that, will get you prestige points. If at the end of a player's round, they reach 8. If a player scored at least 90 points, or 12 turns, or the peace random event causes the game to end. At that point, we will go into final scoring, and I figure you guys probably want to know how what we're scoring and what we're going to be getting victory points from? Well, we're going to get 1 point for each friendly controlled city developed location, meaning these, not those, okay, because towns, cities. All right. 1 point for every prestige point, and this is on top of any points that we have gained throughout the game. 1 point for every captured town token, so if I have captured some or vice versa. 2 points for each captured city disc, so captured these guys. Victory points for all captured enemy starting locations, whether or not they are in supply. We will talk about supply when we get into battles. Yeah, go with that. 5 points if one of us owns 7 or more here in Sicily, or 2 points if one player owns 3 or more in those two, the Corsica, Sardinia area. Whoever has the most points wins. Now, we are playing with one other small variant, which is the Fate token. This kind of softens the blow for some of the randomness in this game. Mm-hmm. Basically, if you keep getting pounded on by the event deck, you're going to get the Fate token, and it's going to soften the blow for you for the next one, is essentially kind of how it works. And that, folks, outside of the aggressive actions, is how you play Hands into Sea. So we will reset everything, and we will rock and roll. Any questions, Andrew? Anything I totally screwed up?
No. Yeah, we didn't talk about fleet battle. I guess I'll just mention that you can't build a ship and attack the other person's fleet in the same turn.
Correct. So, if you wish to attack, you can do so as the first action, and then you can build a fleet.
Actually, you can't.
Check that. You cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot build a fleet in the same 2-action set as battling.
Yeah, you can't attack and then build, and you can't build and attack. Just
good call.
Yeah.
All right. I need to reset up. I have completely butchered. I should have 12 starting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I have 4 more over here. You guys are going to be able to see my hand of cards. And there you go.
So, and you don't have a ship.
So let's see. 0, 0 there, 0 ships, 2 ships there. Start at 0 points. Syracuse is neutral. We have all of that set up. We probably ought to go over what these strategy cards are.
Yeah, those are important.
Hi, everybody. We're going to set the over-under on 4.5 between us. As I said, you guys are going to be able to play from my point of view, so I will shrink the screen whenever I'm showing my tableau of cards. Other than that, probably out of
that's important. Yeah.
Seems important. One other thing. 2 other things. This board in the 2nd edition is double-sided. We are playing the stripped-down, clearer side because the other side, while pretty, can be a little busy. And I thought for streaming, functionally they are identical. They're just prettier artwork on the other side.
I like the pretty artwork, but you know.
Right, but again,
I'm willing to make the concession.
Thank you. And the second thing is, in the 2nd edition, I'm not kidding, these probably have the most satisfying metal coins I have ever encountered in a board game in my life.
Yeah.
These are ridiculously awesome.
I was very happy when these arrived with the Kickstarter.
Yeah, and I appreciate you donating this to the Heavy Cardboard Library. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Oh, is that happening?
Yeah. So place your bets. If you want Carthage and be a loser, that's fine. You can do so. Or Rome. Let's see, what else?
Mike, same here, by the way. Owned for years, never played.
All right. Well, and this, when you and I talked about it on the podcast, that's how this came to be, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, let's start out talking about what the strategy cards are out there. So, can you read them, or do you want me to?
I can read them, sure.
All right.
So, the one that's face value right now in the card number 3 slot is Seamanship. Cost 5. As an action, you may pay 1 silver to move your fleet 2 sea zones. And once per round, you may reinforce a coastal location even if it's out of supply. And it basically softens the blow of 2 events. The Storms at Sea event, you ignore completely. And the Naval Disaster, you treat as if it were storms in the sea.
So it lessens the blow of both those.
Yeah.
I.e. you have,
You're going to lose less ships.
Or yeah, that makes sense. All right.
Next card is Administration. So that's cost 5.
And it does a whole lot of options.
It does a lot of things.
Right?
Once per round, as an action, you may do one of the following. Discard up to 2 cards from your hand at no cost. Return 2 cards from your hand to the Empire deck. Draft 2 cards from your Empire deck, so not the neutral one. and put 2 cards from your hand in reserve. So just basically makes all the hand and deck management stuff a lot more efficient.
Right. So as an action, you can do one of those things.
One of those things, yes.
And then this card I used to great effect in our last game.
You did.
Deep Reserve.
Deep Reserve costs 4. You may hold up to 2 additional cards in reserve, so up to 7. And as a free action, you may retrieve all cards from reserve at no cost.
Oh, so even if you are broke, you can still pull these back. So if you have a huge army hanging out
Say
here,
someone were to have an absurd amount of army in the reserve.
What if? I mean, that'd be weird. So, okay, there we go. So the game begins now. Marking it, 8:58. We'll call it 9 o'clock. So we shuffle up our decks, and we're going to draw 5 cards, first off.
I've already shuffled mine, but I can shuffle again.
No, you're fine. By the way, talk about the nail polish.
If people are wondering why my nails are red, it's because I'm stuck at home with a 3-year-old all day, and this is a thing they want to do for fun. So I was told that I had to get my hand painted, only my right hand, and it had to be red. And
obviously, we know whose side your daughter is on.
Yeah, clearly I've got a saboteur in the house.
Cut. And we'll draw 5, and then we will begin. And again, for the first turn, you only get 1 action. Okay. Now, a round, remember, is when that card comes up, is when we're going to move that marker. So when I say turn, it means 2 actions, 2 actions, 2 actions, 2 actions. Keep going until that card comes up. That will be the end of the round, and we will do the end of turn. I hate how they use that terminology in this, but you get the idea. So I'm going to shrink down this so Andrew cannot see my hand of cards. There we go. And Chisholm says it makes your eyes pop. It's a good color for you.
Okay.
All right. So hopefully, yep, you guys can see that. So that is my first draw. Now, full disclosure, I had some of the strategy cards in the strategy deck that were for an expansion, and one of them was the shipbuilding card. I did have a plan for my first turn. I was going to buy that card for the first turn, or first round, and
yeah, you were very upset when I told you.
I was like, damn it. So, right. Okay. So now, what do we want to do? So we have a host of various things that we are able to do. Any of those actions we could do theoretically. Now, let me take a look now again at the cards that I have. So I have a important thing for me is going to be to take over Syracuse as early as possible. So let me see. It starts at a 2. I would be able to. Nope, not yet on that.
Thank you, Franny.
All right. Yeah, I don't know a good dad that hasn't had his nails painted by his daughter. Exactly, I agree. Right. All right.
The thing for me was just it was only one hand. Like that was was a little bit strange, but
Michael Jackson wore 1 glove, dude. King of pop. Just. Yeah, I'm just saying. All right, so here we go. I am going to choose to settle Tyndaris. All right. So to be a hold on. Am I? I am. I think I am. Yes, I am. All right, so I have to play a card from my hand that has Tyndaris listed, which I will. So what we are actually going to do, so a moment, get this out of the way, and I'm trying to get it to where you guys will be able to see this well. Okay, so I'm going to play this card there. So I'm going to play, as you can see, it has Tyndaris via a ship. So in order to be able to settle Tyndaris, I must play a ship card. Well, as you can see here, the Naples card has the ship symbol on it. Boom, done. And because Tyndaris does not have a colonist symbol, I'm done. That's it. So I then get to take one of my towns, put it out here in Tyndaris. It's going to be worth points. It's working towards getting 7 out. This is going to be the main battleground for the game for the most part.
It is the most important part of the board. For the
All right, so I then take these cards. They go into my discard pile. We take a look. I have 3 cards left in my hand, so therefore I draw back up to 5. So I draw 2 cards. And before you go, a moment.
And I'll just remind you that you also get this.
See? I told you I was going to forget this. This will go into the discard pile as well. Those are the 2 cards that we drew, and it is now the Dirty Carthaginians.
Yeah. I think it's all my money, but that administration card seems very good.
Okay, well, it's not all your money, because you start with $6, I start with 5.
Yeah, but it's still 5 plus
Still.
1.
Oh, right, because
Yeah.
it's there. Good
So
call. Yes.
I have to pay 6 in order to take the strategy card administration. Goes over here, and then this immediately moves over and refills.
And we have Devotio.
Oh, my favorite card.
All right, so cost 5, where it is, plus 2. And this says modify all random events in variable strength unit die rolls 1 in your favor. How'd that work out for you?
Yeah.
I don't think it helped you a single time.
I don't think it did. So the last time we played this, I got that card as my strategy card because I was like, oh, this will help me against events. And I also got a bunch of elephants, which have variable strength based on die rolls. And I whiffed almost every single event. Like, I got nailed.
And the elephants were not really a factor because, duh. Really? The elephants are going to attack me? No. So there you go.
So I'll be staying away from that card, I think.
Right. So you're done.
I'm
That's
done.
your one action. You
Yep.
draw back up,
Yep.
and here we go. So, do we? It's tempting. So what I'm debating is whether or not I want to battle Syracuse right now, because getting Syracuse is going to be very important for me for supply.
Yes.
Do you
This might
want to
be
talk? Yeah,
this might be a good time to talk about supply.
I think
sure.
so. So there are supply points on the map.
Yeah.
The white and black little symbols right here.
And the leap on
Yep.
here.
So there are 4. There's 2 on Sicily, and then the capitals. So what do supply do? What does supply do?
So basically, locations have to be in supply in order for them to be useful for you. If a location is not in supply, then you can't use the card that the location is that is connected to it for anything. Basically,
Right.
also any locations you settle don't give you any points if they're not in supply. You can't you can't like reinforce a battle anywhere that's not in supply. It's bad.
Yeah, you definitely want to have your towns and cities in supply.
Yeah. So basically, supply goes from any of the 4 supply points across land that you control or is uncontrolled by anybody. Also across sea zones that you control or uncontrolled by anybody. So essentially, from Rome, Edward has supply to everywhere in Italy, and also across the straits here. But the straits have a special rule associated with them where the supply from Rome can't go beyond 2 spaces beyond the straits. So he can get supply up to Catana and Tyndaris, but he can't get supply to Thermae, for example.
Right.
Which is why, if he gets Syracuse, he gets supply from Syracuse, and then suddenly he can go further out into Sicily.
Exactly.
Another important point is, so the supply also goes across sea zones, and so if he can get supply through the sea zone, but say if I were to move here, he can't trace supply to Sicily anymore through the sea. And if I were to move here, he can't trace supply to Corsica or Sardinia.
Which is nasty, and
Yes.
basically he camps there after I've claimed these cities.
Right.
Now they're not worth the 3 points that they should be, et cetera, et cetera.
And an important part to that also is a sea zone is uncontrolled if we both are there. So if both of our fleets are here, he can trace supply through Italy, the Italy sea zone, and the Corsica sea zone to Corsica because we're both here, it's uncontrolled.
Regardless of how many ships, but obviously to be out there, you must have at least 1 ship.
Right.
So that is going to be the key, and that's why Syracuse is such an important thing. Now,
Yes.
you'll notice that it's yellow. It's not worth any points. Now, Syracuse itself is, but claiming this, basically you just throw it out of the game. So that's what I'm debating. Plus, it has an inherent defense of +1. So whenever we start a battle, normally a location has a defense value of 1. if it's been settled. However, with the cross swords, it starts at 2. You know what? We're going to do a couple things. We have 2 actions. Just don't look at the screen. I will tell you when you can look up. It just makes it easier for me. I'm going to actually use a colonist first and foremost. So there. All right. So I will use a colonist and spend $3 there and $3 to be able to build a ship. So I now officially have a fleet that is in my port. So now I can actually do something with it. So the $3 will go back into the supply. The 30 card will come out over there. And for our second action, you know what? It's early, so let's go ahead and get it on. I think so. So we're going to instigate a battle. And we are going to battle Syracuse. Okay? There we go. All right, so to be able to battle, don't look up. To battle Syracuse, same thing. I must have a location that has Syracuse listed, which as you can see here, I do. Then I have to, just like in settling, have to have a card that has a symbol that matches it, whether it's a wagon or a ship. So as you can see here, the Katana card has Syracuse for a wagon. So I have the Velia card that has a wagon on it. So we are going to then go ahead and come out here. Do this. There. So Katana has Syracuse and Velia has a wagon, so we're good to go. So we're going to then move up to the Sicily area for a moment, in theory. There we go. Let's move it up there. So we're attacking Syracuse. So here's what's going to happen. So if you take a look over here in my tableau, you'll see that I have a couple of other things. And we're going to zoom out just a little and move that down there. So where the battle is taking place, we're going to put the battle round marker on it, pointing at the location with what round it actually is. If it is a non-fortified area, meaning it has no fortifications, if it's a fortified area, in that case, if it's not, a max can go 4 rounds. 4 rounds being at the beginning of my turn, I check to see if I've won. A total of 3 times, really. If it is a fortified location, it can go to a maximum of 6. Okay, easy enough. So this is going to be round number 1. Then we're going to put the battle marker out here. Starts at 0, and then the defender is going to get 1, which by default goes to the Carthaginian side, if you will. But it has the cross swords, so it's actually going to go to 2. So there, now I must play a card that allows me to reinforce.
Right.
So, again, you know what? You actually can look up because, well...
I won't look up. It's fine.
Yeah, we're okay. All right. So I have 2 cards left in my hand, and both of them can be used to reinforce. Now, to reinforce, you get any swords that are shown on a given card. Or, if it is in an uncontrolled sea zone, or not blocked by your opponent, I should say, you can then use a ship symbol as if it were a sword symbol. So in this case, you'll see that I have this card here that also has a ship symbol. So for my free reinforcement, free meaning it doesn't cost me an action, and I must do this as part of the attack, I have to then play one of these 2 cards to be able to get it on, so to speak. So I'm going to go ahead and play my Legion 1 card. Now, the 2 cards that I played for the location, or to start the battle, will go into my discard. But because it's a Roman battle now, this will go into my battle. The reason they go here is they're not going into your discard pile right away, so you can't reuse them in the same battle.
Right.
Because they're locked up in battle.
Committed. Yeah.
Okay? So, 2 swords, so this bumps it down 1, 2. At the beginning of all subsequent turns, up through when this says 4, if at any point it is in the red, regardless of where it is, I have won the battle. And then we'll go through the steps that entails. But as it is, neutral means I haven't won the battle. If it's blue, at the beginning of blue's turn, if it were a blue location and not Syracuse, Syracuse is an odd duck in that, then he would have won the battle, etc., etc. But as it is, that is both of my actions. So I now draw. I have one card left in my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. I forget anything else, or does that work? Okay.
And so the Syracuse battle is different in that I can't reinforce it at all. I can't help Syracuse. Syracuse isn't my ally, so he's on his own.
Right.
But you have presented me with an interesting option. So what I could do is I could spend 2 actions to move my fleet to Africa and then to Sicily. And then by doing that, that would block Edward from using ship symbols to reinforce this battle.
Correct.
But that's my whole turn. And
I'm okay with that. I support that.
Yeah, I had other plans for what this turn was going to be, but I mean, you only need 2 more attack to make it happen.
Correct.
But it's still probably worth it to get my ship out there anyway. So yeah, I will do that. So this doesn't cost any cards or anything. It's just
one action?
Move.
2 actions. Done.
Yes. And so now that's blocking any reinforcement by sea for Edward for this battle. And unless he moved his ship down there. But that would take you 2 actions.
It would. All right. So now it is the beginning of my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I check to see, have I won the battle? No. Okay. This now advances to there. It is. So I have this turn and 2 others to get this up to 2. I like my chances. All right. So action number 1. You know what? I think this is actually safer. You know what? It's not super sexy, but 1, 2.
Wow. Okay.
Because I have a ship, I can do so. That's both my actions. It's no longer blockaded for ship reinforcement.
Right.
Now, should point out that even if I had no ships, I still could use ship symbols to reinforce, provided his ship wasn't here. They're troop transports. They're not triremes, right? Okay. All right. So it is now your turn, sir.
It is. Okay.
And note, he didn't draw any cards, nor did I, because neither of us did. We didn't
use any cards.
There you go. Okay.
All right. So I think I have to start playing some cards. I haven't done that yet. So I will play Panormus.
Okay.
Which connects
You really should see the size of it. It is an enormous area.
Panormus connects to Thermi by wagon.
Okay.
The Thapsus card has a wagon.
Checks out.
So I can settle Thermi.
Easy.
And
hey, remember, don't forget to take the card. And you'll notice that the areas are color-coded. So the yellow cards are this area, the green cards are there, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
Okay.
So I get the Thermi card, and these all go in my discard. That's 1 action.
Yep.
Next, I think I will use administration and draft 2 cards from my deck.
Okay.
So I don't have any money, but I can get...
So you still would have to pay for the cards.
Right.
Right? Okay.
But I can get a magistrate, which is free, and does a bunch of things.
Yep.
And let's see, I could also get...
Oh, you know what? I forgot to bring up the everything on this one as well. This camera. There we go. All right. So there's your magistrate. Anything else?
I'll also get a fortification, which is also free.
All right. So there we go. That is both your actions. It is now my turn. We go into round 3. Have I won the battle? I have not yet. All right. So, taking a look at my hand, you'll notice these 2 cards for those right there. Let's go ahead and get this battle over with. It's risky because it's just, I need to, we're just gonna do this. So we're gonna play Regium. That's 1 action for 1 attack, and then we're going to play Masana for another attack, which that is going to be 1 and 1. We're having some fun. All right, cool. That is into my discards. I have 1 card. I need 2, so we obviously shuffle and draw. Check that. That goes there.
Right.
That goes there. And hold on, I used Katana and that, right? So
Yeah, you used a total of 4, including the Legion.
1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So there are the 4. Those do not get shuffled in. That is important to note. So I will have drawn that card. And these will get shuffled and then go from there. That is both of my actions. It is your honor, sir.
Okay.
And the reason I move my ships, now that I've actually done it, is I don't have my deck memorized, okay? Because I've not played it that much. I only had 2 other cards in my deck that would give me, actually 3, I guess technically because of the one I drew, that would have either a ship or a sword, and I only had 1 that had a sword. So I only had this and Rome, which I could draw. So I would have had to have drawn them both, and that would have been difficult. So getting my ship over there to be able to use the ship card kind of made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that was fair. And that was kind of what I, was hoping to force you to do in order to let
Right, and it buys him time, right? It slows me down. So I drew that card and I drew that card. So there we go. All right.
Okay. So I am... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm going to settle again. So from, but I need that. That's right. Okay, never mind then. In that case,
False start, Andrew.
In that case, okay, we'll do Corrales over here connects to Olbia by sea, and I will use the Carthage card. Which
Checks
has a
out.
ship on it.
Yep.
So I can settle there.
This game is already going completely different than how our previous game went.
So Olbia card
Which is a green one.
here. And the rest of these, how useful is that going to be? You know what? I'm actually going to use the administration card to put 2 cards in my hand from reserve.
Can you? Hold on. It's once per
round. Once per...
Right, yes. So you can't use it as both your actions.
Right,
Correct.
right.
There you go. Again, round versus turn.
Yeah.
Turn is whenever you draw the green card, the campaign card. So you're legit. Go for it.
So I'm going to reserve Hippo Regius.
Oh, hey, it's almost like we talked about this previously.
Almost like we did. And then the merchant card.
Okay, right.
And so that's both my actions.
All right.
And I'm going to draw it back up.
So did not draw the campaign card.
Yes.
So here we go. We now go into round 4, which is the final of the battle. Have I won? Yes! Yes, I have won. So let's go through all of the steps just to make sure I don't forget anything. Winning as the attacker. All right. So remove the defender's town and any fortification that may be there. Gone. Bye, Syracuse. All right. Then, if it has a colonist symbol on it, which obviously it does. So let's go ahead and zoom in here real quick. First off, this and this can come off because the battle has ended. I'm going to win that. So, does it have a colonist symbol on it? The answer is yes. If it does, I may play, if I would like to settle the location, and I can play a card from my hand that has a colonist symbol on it. Oh, wouldn't you know? We have that. So we're going to take this card, play it out here, there, and now we can settle that. Boom, that's going to be worth both 3 points. Things are in supply. Everything was in supply, but it now just, okay, yes. That is the important thing there, okay? And more importantly, Syracuse card, or equally as important, Syracuse card then will come into the discard. If I didn't have a colonist card, it would be unoccupied. I wouldn't get the card, but if it were an opponent's, it would be treated as out of supply, the whole 9 yards. Mm-hmm. So there we go. And I do not get prestige for destroying Syracuse as well, because again, it was a neutral yellow city.
Yeah.
So that was action number 1. That's as far as I've gotten, not gonna lie. So what are we trying to do at this point?
Well, that wasn't even an action, right? 'Cause you just
Oh,
resolved it.
no,
Yeah.
you're right. I still have
And these
two
go
actions.
in
Thank
discard
you.
too.
And these cards now are freed up to go into the discard because, oh, hey, they've come home, they have conquered, and that's that. So now what are we trying to do? Probably ought to start getting our Empire cards out. Now, we only have $2. Our Legions cost 6, so that's kind of unfortunate. That is an option. Not really worried about getting them out yet. Okay, so as both of my actions, I'm going to actually draft an Empire card. First one's going to be my Fortification card, and my second one is going to be my Magistrate card, because that's going to be able to get me money as well as be able to draw cards pretty quickly. I'm okay with that. Even though I'm poor right now, I think...
It's tough.
Yes, final answer, done. That's what I'm going to do. So those go into my discard pile. I did play a card for a non-action to be able to settle Syracuse, so I'm going to draw one card back into my hand. There's that. And done. Okay?
Okay, so now I can do the thing I wanted to do before. So from Lily Bayam, I can reach Agrigentum by ship, which I have a ship on the Utica card that I need a colonist in order to settle it, which I have
that went nuts on me. Hold on.
Hello.
Hold on. That went. Let's back that up. What? Okay, let's try that again. Why?
Yeah.
Why are you messing? Okay, try that again. Go for it.
Okay, so this can reach Agrigentum by ship. So I can play the ship from Utica, and I need a colonist in order to settle it, which I get from Hippocra. So,
yeah,
get there.
So because it had a colonist on it, that will go there.
So this goes into my discard. And I have one action left. These cards both kind of suck. This feels like a waste, but I am just going to play the Kupea card for 1 money. That's the situation I'm in. So I have to draw the campaign card right away.
Okay, so let's actually, okay, so the campaign card says the exact same thing that the end of turn does, so let's look at that. So first and foremost is resolve a random event. All right, so here we go. And full disclosure, we did shuffle and all of this while Andrew was here. So there's no preceding things. So here we go. What do we have? Political infighting. Carthage on a roll of 1 to 4, whereas Rome on a roll of 5 to 6. You may only take one action this round. Okay, round being the two, and then you cannot take a free action on your next round. All right,
that sucks.
So here we go. You want to? Let's see. It's an odd number. Rome started all roll to start this one. The cross swords are 6s, by the way. So on a 1 to 4, it happens to him.
Great.
Now, he did have a negative event that impacted him. So he is going to take that, the little fate token. There you go.
There. Sure.
So what that means is now on the next event, he gets a +1, essentially, is what that means. So this event, we're going to actually just throw it up there as a reminder. So, all right, that was the first event, or the step 1. Then we're going to collect income, 1 per city that we have on the board. Each of us have 2, so easy enough. We each get $2. Okay. The next thing is score victory points for captured neutral or enemy areas. So go for it. start with you.
So, and they have to be in supply also. So one, that's not, so just this one, because this one I started with. Then 2, 3, 4.
So 4 points for the Dirty Carthaginians, okay? And then yours truly, I started with basically everything that from Masana back. So we have 1, we have 2,
started with that one,
we
yeah.
have 1, and we have 3. That'll be a total of 4.
Yep.
All right, cool, easy enough. The next step says, draw a new strategy card. Okay, so
Seamanship is gone.
I am really, really glad about that, by the way. And we have the Corvus. Speaking of which, we literally had just spoken in chat about the Corvus here.
The Corvus is one of the most fascinating things about this war.
It is. So you may add 1 infantry per warship to naval battles from your reserve at no cost. You capture 1 enemy warship upon victory if at least 1 infantry was committed to the battle. A die roll to hit, 1 per infantry, is light infantry is a 5 or 6. A heavy infantry is 3 to 6. And note, this card cannot, this card modifies, thank you, storms at sea and naval disaster.
It makes them worse. I know that for sure.
Yeah, which historically, that's exactly what happened.
Yes.
The Romans lost their entire fleet
Yes.
in a storm. So there we go.
Right.
Right, we need to continue on. Okay. All right. So the next one is advance a turn marker. Sir.
Oh, yes. I forgot to do that.
And done. So you drew the card, so that means it's going to be yours truly's turn. All right. You guys have seen like 95% of the game at this point, I would say.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think
Right?
seeing a battle between the two of us will be kind of the last
Yeah,
bit.
right.
But, and I guess raiding. We haven't done raiding yet.
Or pillaging, but
Yeah.
don't worry, it's coming. Okay, so now that that's done, let me actually take a look at my hand and figure out what I'm trying to do. How many cards? A couple of things that we could not find the answers to. We believe that discards are freely allowed.
I did actually
You
look
did?
this up, yes. Discard is public information
Right.
and reserve is public information.
Right, that's what we figured.
Yeah.
So playing them face up all made sense like that. So all of that is public. Either player can examine either of those. Obviously not a draw deck.
Right.
And the Empire also is public because...
Right.
Yeah. Okay, what am I trying to do? Now that I have $4, $4 still is not 6. And take a look down for a second. So that is our hand. So you may notice that there is a symbol that I don't have. Okay. Okay. Cannot do that yet. What I want to do, I can't do. So, what are we going to do? Let's keep it moving. It's just so early for that.
A political infighting card really sucks right now.
Do what?
The political infight, the fact I can only do one action this round
Oh.
is really bad.
No, I think it's totally fine. All right. I think for our first action, I'm going to draft equates, which these you may raid or block a player's raid, and it aids in cavalry superiority, which we'll talk about later, and half strength in sieges. So that costs 4. So that's going to be one action. And the second action is not terribly exciting. I really don't want to waste that. Oh, this is really bad. Because I don't have that, it really limits what I can do right now. Ah. Because I really want that or that. Okay? So you know what? I'm okay with... I think we're going to go ahead and just play that for $2. That feels so wasted. I hate it.
At least it's not one.
There's that. So, and I'll draw one card and done.
Okay.
And that was the draw.
So I can only take one action.
Yep.
I think it will be to play my magistrate. So this lets me do one of three things. I can either collect $4, I can draw 2 cards and collect $2. I can actually put it right there.
Okay, all right, moving back. You're going to make people seasick. Here you go.
So I can collect $4, draw 2 cards and collect $2, or retrieve all cards from my reserve by just paying $1. But that is not a free action. That would require an action. I'm just going to do it for the $4.
Okay.
$4 is great.
Okay.
And that was one action, so it's on to you.
All right. It didn't really help me, about what I drew. So, I've got to get cards out of my hand. That's going to be the biggest thing that I need to do right now. And if I were, so I have 3 cards left in my deck. I would love to be able to play 3 cards, but unfortunately, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that. I'm just... Yeah, God, I hate it, but I'm playing these 2 for $4. That's it.
Okay.
So I'll put a 5 out there, put 1 back, done. So now you can't take free actions, but now you're back up to 2.
Yes. Okay.
And I draw 2 of the 3 cards left. Finally.
Yeah, that's more useful. That's more useful.
Drew those 2.
Okay. So I will settle.
Okay.
So from Olbia, I can reach Ilaria by wagon.
Okay.
Or cart. So that's cart from Panormus. And I need a colonist, which I get from Hippoacra.
Okay. So.
Okay. So the Ilaria card. And second action will be, there, and that's done. I'm going to pay 6 and buy the
neutrals. Okay.
Greek mercenaries.
Yeah. Which is basically a legion, but they are bribable.
They are bribable, yes. That is their downfall, but they don't, they're you know, they don't require a colonist, which is the important part right now.
Fair enough.
So that's both my actions, so I draw back up to 5.
So which could do that, but I don't think that's as important. So, yep, we're going to settle. So we're going to settle Camarina, and it requires a ship. So there we go. Those guys. And I will take the Camarina card. That will go there. That's one action. And money is tight here. Ooh, I'm about to shuffle every day. Every day I'm shuffling. You know what I'm thinking is, since money is tight and I don't have the easy money that the Carthaginians do, I'm going to actually develop a location here. I'm going to develop Thury. So I'm developing Thury, so that requires the Thury card, and then it requires another colonist card to be able to develop it. So boom, done. So Thury, this does come back into my supply, and that'll become a city there, which is going to be able to get me an extra buck when he draws the end of turn card. And that is both of my actions. So that's one drawing that card, and then I'm going to draw 3 more after I shuffle every day. You're up.
Okay. So from Thermi, I can reach Enna. This is rough terrain here, or rough road.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here, let's zoom in a little on that.
Yeah.
Show folks.
So as opposed to these straight lines that are land connections, rough roads require 2 wagons to cross, essentially.
Right.
So I'm going to play 2 wagons.
Okay, hold on one sec. Takes a little bit for the camera to get.
Sure.
All right, there you go.
So Thermi can reach Enna, but I need 2 wagons to get there. So.
Oh, let's just travel on down to Sicily, and there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's Enna. So I get the Enna card.
Take care, Victor.
And I like your idea of developing stuff. So let's develop a lily biome. We got a
3.
colonist and the lily biome card, so I can turn this into a city. And that is both my actions.
Okay. All right. There's our hand of cards now. Okay. Thinking about it. All right. So, yeah, let's go ahead and try it. So I am going to play this card. This is going to be the Equites. They may raid. Oop, wrong one. Hit the sloppy. Sorry. There we go. Equites may raid. All right, so we're going to raid. Where are we going to raid? Well, I'm looking over at Andrew's discard pile, right? And I know he just got Enna, so I know his discard, that is in Enna. So I'm going to call out Enna. Now, it is not affected by rough terrain.
Right.
So as long as I am adjacent, and you cannot raid across straits because horses can't.
Right.
I guess they can swim, but you get the idea.
Right.
So we're going to try to raid here Enna.
Yeah.
So now, if he has a card that can block a raid, he can play it.
Which I do.
You know, okay, so he plays his fortification, so I tried.
So those get both discarded.
Right.
Important thing about raiding is that you can play multiple cards that can raid and raid further in.
Right, so if I had 2 cavalry, I could have raided, say...
like Thermi or Panormus.
Panormus from Tyndaris.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the card where it's coming from, just it's saying, hey,
Right.
I'm raiding from here, going whatever. So like, I haven't seen the Thermae card, but I have seen the Panormus card, maybe I would play 2
Right.
like that, etc. Okay? That's a bummer. I legit thought I might get away with that because he's at the end of his deck. And so it was possible. I forgot that he hadn't played his fortification card.
Partly why I got that card.
Right. Well, there was that. Had I been successful, this is what would have happened. That. And the Enna card would be out of supply. Now, if I was able to settle Enna, then I would take the card from him, but alas, it failed. All right? Equites. All right, fine, Gooserino, my bad. Big Dumb Marine, my bad.
That's true. It does burn my fortification card also, which I did
Right,
want to use.
exactly. Right, yeah. So you're not fortifying something now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the second one, we're going to add to our Empire deck. It's going to cost us 6 silver, which everybody knows what that is. Ooh. You know what? I was going to do a Legion, but it requires a colonist, and I'm not sure I want to do that. So instead, I'm going to get another Equite.
It's going to be that kind of game.
Yeah, it is. And I'm going to get $2 back because it only costs 4. So the Equite will go into my discard. I could have paid 8 if I had it to put it back into the top of my deck. Alas, I am not. And we'll then draw that. And that's what we drew there. So are you guys able to follow along? Is it making sense? And it is your honor, sir.
Yeah. Man. Is it better to settle? Probably better to reinforce.
Depends on the market. No, just kidding. Wrong game. The language died. You won, really. All right, fair enough. Correct. All right.
Okay. I think...
Therefore you are, because you have the Greek mercenaries.
Oh, man. There's just... This is not good.
So while Andrew's pondering, how many of you guys out there have or have not either heard of Hands in the Sea or played Hands in the Sea? Or A Few Acres of Snow or any of the games in that kind of ilk?
Okay.
All right.
I think I'm going to settle.
All right.
From Agrigentum, I can reach Hippana by road. It's rough road, though, so I need 2 wagons.
Checks out. So from Agrigentum to Hippana.
So I get that card. And then my remaining card, I will just play for $3.
Okay. It's not Mytica, it's Utica.
All right, and then
Utica.
immediately drawing the campaign card.
All right, so we go back through. Here we go. So, resolve the random event. Don't mind if we do. All right, now you get a +1 on your roll if it is like that. So here we go. We have Storms at Sea.
Ooh.
Now, full disclosure, there is some a variant to where all the some of the worst events in the game can be kind of limited or kind of softened.
They soften some of the events.
We have only done one of them, which is the natural or the disaster, the naval disaster one. That's the only one that we chose to soften because we felt it was a little too swingy. So, Storms at Sea says, well, I can read it on the screen. Carthage 1 to 2. In his case, it's 1 to 3.
Right, because of my fortune thing.
Destroy half of your warships, rounded down. So I am okay if it's me. If it's Andrew, he loses 1. If it's not in port, because neither of us are in port. And the Corvus, etc., as you can see there, but we don't, excuse me, have the Corvus.
Yeah, it's a little annoying that won't affect you, but, you know,
it's even round. You roll, sir. So it's 1 to 3 for yours.
Or 1 to just 1, isn't it? Because if I want it, it's
You're right. It's the other way. It's a 1 only.
Yeah. Whoop. Let me try that again.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was a 1.
It was.
But we have agreed that if it's not in there, we re-roll it.
I think that's fair.
I do think he knew it was going to be a 1, so he rolled hard, so it popped out.
Yeah.
So it goes to me. It does not affect me, though, because... Oh, actually, it does. I have Storms at Sea. I lose half my ships rounded down.
Right.
Done.
Done.
So now he loses the Fate token back. All right.
And now we do the rest of the in a campaign stuff. So.
Oh yeah, shoot! I am slacking in my job. I apologize.
So develop locations, give money.
So money and then victory points.
Yeah.
So I have 3 points or $3 now.
Yep. I also get 3
because of 30.
Yep. I get 3 because of.
Okay.
William.
And then victory points.
Yes.
So go for it.
So
Yeah, that's
2,
gotta stop.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Making sure you didn't
Yes.
short yourself. So 8 is to 12. So there and to the 10s. And yours truly is looking at 1, 4, 5. So this is pretty much how this game goes. Carthage gets a point lead. The question is whether or not Rome can stay in touch.
Yeah.
And Rome gets stronger as the game goes on. Okay?
All right. Then we lose this strategy card, so no deep reserve.
There we go. Yeah, might as well. We don't need to switch back to it every time. And we have pillaging.
Ooh.
It's if your pillage action is successful, take an extra silver. And the pillage player must also randomly discard 1 card from their hand. Ugh.
Okay.
All right. And advance turn marker.
Yep.
We are now into turn 3 of a maximum of 12. It is yours truly's turn. Oh, I'm wishing I had that card now. Wow. A moment.
Mm-hmm.
Over here. Damn it. And I don't have the right symbols. So there's a symbol that I'm missing here that I wish I could have to be able to do what it is I'm trying to do. Alas, I cannot. Because it's going to be on the front lines, and I know this, I can't, never mind, I can't right now. It's really hard to talk out loud for this in a 2-player game because I don't want to give everything away, right?
Yeah.
With given what my cards are. I wish I had the Mercator card right now, given what I have. I do not.
You know what, Edward? You want to give me the rule books? Someone asked about where the name of the game comes from, and I believe that's explained in the either the companion guide or the rule book.
Yep, there you go. Have a good one, Jonathan. Here you go. Golly, that really sucks.
Yeah. Hands in the Sea comes from a quote from a history of the war where the historian wrote about basically the Carthaginians and Romans fought a naval battle. Afterwards, given the magnitude of the war that lay before them, they sent envoys to the consul to discuss terms of friendship. There was much discussion and both sides engaged in heated debate. The Carthaginians said that they were amazed that the Romans thought they would be able to venture into Sicily, since the Carthaginians had control of the seas. It was obvious to all that they did not maintain friendly relations. The Romans would not dare even to wash their hands in the sea.
There we go.
And we all know that ended for them, so...
The problem is it's not getting through my deck, and that's what I need to do. I hate it right now, but I'm going to play... Check that. I need to power through my deck, I said, right? So I'm going to play Regium, and we're going to trade that has a ship symbol. So I'm going to get $4 for that. So I'll take a 5, throw 1 back. And that's going to power through my deck better because I did not like the composition of my hand. So that's going to be 1 action. The second action, I really don't want to get rid of either of those cards. So therefore, I'm going to draft a card from my Empire deck. And essentially, what I'm looking at are those 3 cards. I want to make sure. Oh, I put those in the wrong spot. Sorry. Yep. Yeah, those 3 cards. Mercator is going to help me with money, but I don't think that's going to be as important. But being able to bribe could be really, really good, and blocking a raid would also be nice. But it also has the symbol in the top right-hand corner for combined arms, which could be really good as we go along. And the fact that the console gives a free action in combat.
That is nice.
You know what? Let's do it. I talked myself into it, so it's going to be 5 silver. So these will then come back out there. That's going to be both my actions. And 1, 2, 3, and done.
Okay.
So
as a free action, I'm going to pull 2 cards out of my reserve. I have to pay $2 to do so.
Okay. Which is your Mercator and Hippo Regius.
Yes. So now, as an action, I will play the Merchant along with 1 grape, 2 grape, 3 grape,
more?
4 grape.
Okay, wow, that's $8.
So $8.
Wow.
And
Hey,
these
James.
all go in here.
Says, really happy to see another adult man wearing nail polish. There you go.
All right, James.
All right.
I'll show up next time with the rainbow spread.
Because daughter.
Yeah. Okay. Then, so I've got money to burn now. I'm going to use my administration card and get some Empire cards from this. So
Early on, Rome definitely feels like it's back on its heels.
so let's see. I've got 13 money. Part of the problem here is there's a lot of good options to get. I'm wondering, should I be more offensive here? Probably. Okay, so we're going to spend a bunch of money. So we can draft 2 cards from the Empire deck because of administration as an action. So we're going to get the Numidian Cavalry and the Libyan Spearmen.
And what do both of those do?
So the Numidian Cavalry
Can be bribed.
They may raid or block a raid, and they aid in cavalry superiority, have strength in sieges, but they're 2 swords.
Right.
The Libyan Spearmen are heavy infantry. They have 2 swords when attacking, and 1 sword when defending.
Right.
And also bribable. So those both go in there, and that costs a total of 10.
I suppose we probably ought to talk about bribing. So bribing is an aggressive action. You play a bribe card, and you pay a silver. It can be blocked by an opponent. If it's not, an opponent selects a card from their hand or the reserve marked with the bribe symbol and returns it to the Empire. So they just go away.
It's bad, yeah.
Well, depends on your point of view, I suppose. All right. So that was both of your actions,
Yep.
right? Well, now that I actually have drawn that is helpful. So now I have oh boy. You know what? Now that I've drawn those, I kind of have something in mind. So I'm going to spend $1. I'm going to get rid of 2 cards. And it's any 2, correct? When I do that, let me double check. Whenever you cycle.
We can get rid of all of them if you wanted to.
Well, I discard 1, 2, or 3 strategy cards, paying the appropriate cost of more than 1.
Right.
So for $1, it's 2 of them. So I will get rid of Devodio and the Corvus. You know what? There are 2 storms at sea. So I can add 1 infantry per warship to Naval Battle from your reserve at no cost. So if I have an infantry, I can do that. And then you capture an enemy upon victory if at least 1 infantry was committed to the battle, and then they roll 4 hits. That Corvus is really kind of
Yeah, we've already seen Storms at Sea.
I know. Well, yeah, I think there's 2 of them, but still.
Oh, there are? Okay.
I think so. That is tempting. That would cost me 6. I only have 5. So I could do something else to take the Corvus. But I really want to go searching for another card. You know what? Let's do this. We're going to discard Pillaging and Devotio. Discard those if you would.
Oh, I thought you had to...
Is it in order?
I thought you had to do it in order. Like, if you want to discard this, you've got to cycle both of these.
I know. But hey, Benjamin. Wow, a lot of Australia in the house. If I put it... Excuse me. You know what? I'm not going to pay the buck. So I had 4. Oh, this is frustrating. Somehow I end up a buck short. All right. Action number 1 is we're going to play the Tarentum card for that and $3 to build a ship.
Not a fan of that.
That's 2 ships. And I really don't want to mess with that card. So those 2 and... So the 2 cards on the left, I have some flexibility with. The 2 cards on the right, I really don't want to get rid of if I can help it. But what do we do otherwise? You know what? If I'm not sure what to do, I'm going to go ahead and bring the Mercator over, which is going to help. And I'm only going to draw 1 card. That's both my actions. And that card, that is a really good card. That is excellent for what we're trying to do. All right. Yeah, seriously, glory to Rome for being a buck short on that. Gusarino reminded me there's a board for that. There in fact is.
Okay. So I'm going to use my administration card. I can return 2 cards from my hand to my Empire deck. I've got 2 locations here that I don't think are very helpful to me right now. Regimentum and Thapsus. So both of those will go into the Empire deck.
So just basically thinning it and also not cluttering your reserve, right?
Right. And then... Yeah, I'm going to fortify, so I'm going to pay $3. Oh, wait, no, I'm not going to do that. Shouldn't have shown that. Well,
yep, well, hey, all right. So maybe if we happen to have any raid cards in our hand, maybe we don't use them right now.
I will reserve these Greek mercenaries.
Okay. Good to know I have a bribery in reserve.
Sure.
All right, good.
And that is both my actions. So
right.
1, 2, 3.
I am going to play this card, unfortunately, for the money. So that's $2. Keep it, because then I'm going to play Syracuse with the colonists to do this.
Okay.
And done. That's both my actions. Drawing 2 cards. Those two are what we drew. Okay.
Well, I want to do other things, but
Allergies kicking.
I'm going to play Agrigentum for the colonist and
Okay.
pay 3.
And gonna build
But-
another ship.
Going to build a ship.
Oh, are you? So now it's 3-3.
Yep. That's 1.
Getting nervous?
A little bit. Interesting. Well, now I need money, so sure. We'll play Panormus just for the $2.
Okay.
Your turn. Okay.
Man, I don't. So, again, here is the hand. Not too worried about that right now, but that's one more, right? Sorry, a moment.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's what we want. But I cannot do it. I have to keep these two in my back pocket for right now. So I think we go ahead and get rid of that. But I'll be honest, I don't know what else I'm doing for another action. No, the only problem... there's not... No, Mike, to answer your question. Does it get into these stalemates where at some point you say, well, I'll just try and attack? No. Because it definitely feels like the defense has a inherent advantage in that regard. So I'm gonna play Kosa for $2, which is not terribly exciting, I understand. And I'm going to go in reserve, throw Legion in reserve. And that's going to be my second action. So I'm going to draw 2 cards, and these are the 2 that we drew, which I'm good with that.
Okay.
Because, okay, so there we go.
Can I
Okay.
see your discard pile? Just going to skim through it real quick.
Sure. In other words, here comes a raid/pillage. And
Okay.
if you're wondering, there's
Sure.
those. So
Okay. Yeah, I think it's time. Okay, so we're going to start an attack.
oh,
So we'll go from Thermi to Tyndaris using the wagon from Ilaria
okay.
and use Hippana as our sword.
All right. So we have it. We have an attack. So this is Tyndaris. You're attacking
So put this here. This starts at 1, but
for
gets
the
bumped
defense.
up to 0
and then it
because
bumped
of the
down
sword.
1. There we go.
Then as a free action, I'll pay 1 to bring the Greek mercenaries back in my hand, and then as my second action, reinforce the battle. So 2 swords, and it is your turn.
Okay. So if I do nothing, he would take over Tyndaris. And if I were to have the Tyndaris card in my hand, then it's essentially a dead card. So keep that in mind. So, this has not gone how I planned it to go, obviously. So I will play the Masana card, which bumps that down. So now he will not win the battle at the beginning of next turn. A moment, because I can go through my discard as well. So, okay. So I will then I'm going to play Naples for the $3.
Okay.
That's my second action. So now we draw 2 cards. And there's a specific card that I was, real quick, keep looking down, that I was hoping to draw with that, which is this card. Okay? All right?
Okay, so now we're in battle round 2.
Right. Did you win?
Did not.
Okay.
So we will add on Enna as an action.
Okay, so that goes there.
And Lilybam.
Now, note that, here, and I will, I'll actually
Sure.
bring this over so folks can see this. So, Lilybam, there, you'll notice, has both the cross sword and the ship symbol. So he doesn't get +2.
Right.
It's an either or,
yeah.
which it's always going to be the swords because the ships could be blocked, right?
Yep.
So now, I would need to play 2 to make sure that he doesn't automatically take that over. Keeping this because of that in reserve. Okay? Actually, a moment. I'm okay with that. I will pay $1 to bring this out as a free action, and then that's 1 action. Boop. Down 2.
Okay.
So that's 1 action. The second action will then be to play Rome and $3 for that.
Okay.
And I will draw 1 card, and it is now your turn, and we drew that one.
So now we're in round 3 of this.
Right. And it's not reinforced, it's not fortified, so he has this round or next round to take it over, or that's all she wrote. And I hold.
That is
Okay.
interesting.
Oh, and Rome goes to the discard. And there's 1 card left in my draw deck.
Okay. This might be, well, So a thing I'm considering, and we haven't talked about yet, is at the end of a battle, there will be losses for the
Right.
loser, or if there's a draw,
We
both
each
of us
lose 1 for a non-location card.
Right. And right now, my only non-location card is the Greek Mercenaries, which were a pricey thing. And his only non-location card is Legion. So, if I can't win this and it becomes a draw, then I'm going to lose them.
Correct. And I will lose my
So-
Legion as it is right now because of stalemate.
Right.
But you still got a bug out, and I hold Tyndaris, and there's that.
Yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll play them. Well, actually, I could play that one. Oh, I could play that. Yeah, okay. So we'll play Carthage as just for the money. So we get $4.
Okay.
And then we're going to spend it immediately to recruit an Empire card and have it go directly on top of my deck.
So that's going to be $2.
Yes.
So it's a $2
and-
card.
Yeah, so we'll make it the Celtic Infantry. They cost 2. I'm paying double, so they can go right on top.
There we go.
And then I draw up.
And there we go. So it is now my turn. So I know it's going to end in a stalemate. Okay. If I don't get it back to at least 2 on my side. So let me kind of unpack that a little bit. You check, let me back up. You check at the beginning of your turn if you have won a battle. So we look here, this will advance and it will be round 4. And we then come up here to Corsica and we look at the battle track out there. If I do nothing, it will be at neutral and therefore that's it. So he is not going to win this battle. However, if I can get it to 2 and he only has that one card that he just drew, then I could potentially actually win the battle. Winning the battle would get me, as the defender,
You get a prestige.
right.
And you don't lose a card.
Right, which I don't lose that Legion. Now, looking at my tableau now, I need to have 2 cards in which I can get that 3 spots.
And it's only round 3, so we still have another round of fighting.
Oh, you're right, we do.
Yeah.
So check that. So,
This is why I got the infantry, because then I can put them down,
Right.
and they'll be the ones that die, basically.
that is true. There is that. I'm going to play Velia.
So it moves 1.
Yep. So that's 1 action. Oh, man. 2. And I will draw last card in my deck. Last card in my deck is that one right there. Okay.
Okay. So it's now round 4.
Did you win?
Did not win.
Okay.
Pulling out the infantry. So 1. Did we talk about combined arms yet? Or
No, we have not.
Okay. Well, I guess we can wait to see when that happens. I guess we can talk about it. It's not happening now.
I know.
And I'll also add Hippo Acra, so I can play the ship as a reinforcement because my fleet's there and it's not going to happen. So this can go to 2. And that is both my actions. But a campaign and a turn thing happens immediately because I have to draw it.
So, random events. So let's get over to the event. And we have Leaders Quarrel. So Carthage on a 1 or 2, Rome on a 3 to 6. You may not add a leader units to the next land or naval battle this turn, whichever comes first. Discard at the end of the next battle, da 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 da. So, it is an odd round, so that is going to be me to roll, sir.
Okay, and it's 1 to 2 Carthage, 3 to 6
Yep.
Rome.
So 1 to 2 is you. All right, so it's me. So I cannot play a leader into the next battle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this card and put it here as a reminder. All right, so that's it. So now income, I'm getting $3. You,
And
sir?
also getting 3.
Then victory points, what are you at?
I've got, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 gets to 20. And I'm at 1. It's still under my control.
Yep.
And it's in supply because
Yep.
Syracuse, and Rome, I guess. But
Yeah.
1, 4, 5 points. So that's to 14. Okay.
Okay. Strategy card goes away.
And we have shipbuilding. By the way, that was the card I was going to go digging for. Shipbuilding says for 1 action, you can build 2 warships for 5 silver and a colonist.
Yep. And it's Rome only.
Yes. Yes. And events.
We're at
Here we go.
4.
And it is my turn.
Yes.
Well. That draw the card that I got in the draw changes things potentially. Wow. Wow. That is really hard. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. All right, I'm going to play my Magistrate. I'm going to get 2 silver and draw 2 cards. Now, I have no cards to draw, so we're going to shuffle every day. Nope. And for those at home, nope, never gets old to me.
Oh, Brian, okay. So Brian's saying Carthage is out of supply and Corsica and Sardinia, but I thought we determined that supply could come from here and go through the sea zones.
Yeah, it can.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that still works.
I believe that is correct. So, because this is a supply point, through the sea zone, through an uncontrolled, those are legit. That's how we have played it.
Yeah.
So I believe that's okay.
If we're wrong, then let us know.
Right. Now, because he has Lily Bomb. If he didn't have Lily Bomb, then he would be out of supply because Carthage is now blocked from me because of that. So that's how we have played it, but it's possible. It's possible that we got that wrong. So I'm drawing 2 cards. This can be a very important 2 cards for me. That and that. Well, now we have... So I am blocked from playing any ship cards because I bugged out from there, right? So I played the Magistrate and defense only, playing the Fortification. That's 1.
Sure.
There we go. And that protects me.
Okay.
So those will go there.
Well, the Magistrate doesn't.
Not the Magistrate.
Yes.
Sorry. There or there. All right.
Okay. So check the beginning of battle.
You did not win.
Did not win.
It's a neutral.
So
Bink.
No one gets any prestige points, and we each lose a non-location card of our choice.
So now I got to I got to save my my Legion.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it's a non-location card, correct?
I would assume so.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to double check.
And it's free as opposed to the $6 and the colonist that the Legion would require.
Non-location card, yeah, I think that counts. Right?
That was kind of the point. I thought that was clever.
I had not thought of that. Yeah, that is clever. All right, please go back.
So those go back. That comes off the board there. It is now your turn, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of my...
No, Goose Arena, you cannot bribe mercenaries from the battle they're in because it comes from your hand or your opponent's hand or reserve specifically.
Once they're committed to the battle, we can't.
Right, and that's why I actually was checking that because I had the Magistrate there. Mm-hmm. And he can bribe, so it was something that I was considering because then it would have bumped down to. But no, you cannot do that.
Right.
That would be a little powerful.
And that's kind of why I wanted them out in the battle as soon as possible. I didn't have to worry about bribery anymore.
Right. Which last game he didn't have to worry about, but this game, sometimes the Sword of Damocles is as damaging as the actual action, right? It's just the threat of said action. And I don't...
Can I see your discard?
No. Okay.
Okay.
What he's looking at is, over here, have I played any locations for any potential, say, rating?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Go on. All right. Oh, hey, JT. Wish a happy birthday to Miss Bergstrom, as it were. All right. Happy 13th. Cool.
You know what? I don't like any of those strategy cards. I'm going to pay 3 and get rid of all of them.
It's 0, 1, or 3. Yeah. Oh. Glory to Rome.
All those did not seem helpful to me. So.
Wow, that sucked, dude. That I lost the shipbuilding cards so bad. That was coming. So we have planning, we have loyalty, and we have trade. All right, so here, hold on one second. We'll go over them here in a second. All right, so go planning. Ooh. Go for it. $5 and
hand size is increased to 6 cards as opposed to 5, so
right.
you drop to 6. At the end of your turn.
Loyalty is 3, and only you.
Only Carthage. Your opponent, Rome, must pay a total of 3 silver to the bank per bribe attempt, as opposed to 1. And Mercenary Revolt, Ignorance Event, Rebellion does not affect developed locations.
Okay, so. And Trade is 5.
Trade is 5. Any location card may be used with the Merchant card as though it had a wine symbol on it, and you immediately draft the Merchant card as a free action. That is not bad.
Well, especially for you.
Okay, so that was 1 action to cycle those. Now I'm once
So are
again
you guys
broke.
able to follow along? Is it making sense? Or I'll be honest, are the camera cuts helping at all with this, too? So any kind of feedback, definitely appreciate it, guys, because our job, obviously, or our goal here is to have fun and play in the game, but it's also to bring you guys the game. So, all right, so what you got?
I need money, so I'm going to play the Magistrate and get $4.
Okay, easy enough.
That is my turn.
All right. I had a plan. I got to remember what that plan was. Okay, this card, I'm just going to talk out loud. So here, because that's fine. I'm going to be playing this card this round, but it essentially allows me to do 3 different things. I can either pillage here as a potential option. I could build a ship, which is an option. There was a third thing I was thinking about doing. Building a ship, pillage. No, I lied. It's one of those 2 things. So the question is, what do we do? So I'm going to think out loud what how I'm thinking about this. If I pillage, the fact that he has to look through my discards and everything tells me he probably has a raid. And I forget if cavalry can block pillaging. They can't. They can block raids,
they block raids.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
He may have locations in here because although I don't know if the Empire deck's open info
it
as
is,
well, right?
yeah.
So what ones have you put back?
I've only
one of those.
put back Thapsus and Hadrumentum.
Okay, so
those 2.
Yeah, so it would be one of those 2, right? And that would potentially get me $2. And it just is annoying to him, and it helps build up my coffers. However, a 5th ship helps because it would then be 5 to 3, which then would scare the hell out of him. But it doesn't help me with pillaging, okay? Let's build a ship. Yeah, since you $3.
Okay.
Throw a ship out there.
So you're at 5 now.
Yep.
It's not great.
So now that that's done, so for the second action, let's go and grab the fortification back and bring that back in. Done. You're up. So I draw 1 card. That's what we drew. Done.
Man.
Thanks, Aaron. And nice to hear. Luke says I got a phone call right as the teach started, and I stink at following along sometimes, but it's actually falling into place rather easily. And Eric says following along great, and the camera pans do help since you can't read the text on the overhead. Right. So good.
Let's Well, yeah, okay. We'll fortify Thermi.
Okay.
So cost
Move
3.
it to your right.
Here we
There
go.
you go. There.
So I have to pay 3 silver and the location that I want to fortify.
All right, so we now have Thermi.
Yep.
It's fortified.
That's 1.
And you know what? It'd probably be easier just to
Yeah,
do
that's
like
fine.
this because the camera can. There you go.
And next I'm going to pay 2. Yeah, I'll pay 2 to get the Celtic infantry back in my discard.
Okay. Oh boy. Don't want to get rid of those. This I can, but not really. Those I can, but just this is crap.
All right, I should get that.
You know what? Right now, I don't think these are real useful. So Cosa and Pisa, I'm going to put back into the Empire deck.
You can only do that once a turn.
I will do Cosa. So that's 1.
Mike, it is difficult to know what the right thing to do is at a given time. I'll say that.
And it's not an overwhelming choice or amount of choices. There are a lot of options that you have.
Yeah.
But realistically, you're only going to be doing a certain certain amount within a given turn.
Yeah, the difficulty I think for me is knowing what to do when and knowing what the priorities are at a given point. Like, is it more important to build up a big military or to build up and develop locations to get money and get more money, or is it better to focus on thinning your deck? There's a real interesting push-pull of that, of like, you want to capture locations because they're points, but it makes your deck worse to some extent. It makes it bigger and less efficient, which was the case in a few acres of snow as well.
Pisa for $2. Done. I hate it, but I need to get some of these crap cards out of my hand. So, there. Drew those 2. Okay. Take care, Gooserino.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to trade. So we'll use the Utica card for its ship to get money from 2 cards. So 2 and 4, $6. And then...
Yeah, easy game to play, difficult to master. Brian.
Absolutely.
Yep. And by the way, Brian, were we right, just FYI, about being able to, he didn't say one way or the other, but I'm pretty sure that's correct.
That's how I thought it worked, but who knows?
Fine Fote says, I find it harder to play as Rome. Never been able to balance military with expansion and navy. Honestly, early game is Carthage, late game is Rome, it feels like. And once you get a military rolling as Rome, things can go well.
So using my administration card, I can get 2 cards from my deck, and I think I will get the Iberian Cavalry and the Libyan Cavalry for 6. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, this is frustrating. This frees those up. But the problem is,
Okay, Brian says you were right.
Okay. Well, you know what? Can I see your discard?
Yes.
It's coming, so I'm not worried about giving it away no matter what. All right, here.
Okay.
We're going to raid Anna. Hold on. I know Anna's in there. Is Argentum, I'm sorry, Agrigentum. I don't think it's in there. Is
I don't think so. No, it isn't.
it? Okay. All right. Then
So
yeah,
Anna.
we'll stick with Anna.
Yeah. Okay. We'll block that with
All
the
right. So
cavalry.
mission accomplished. on
Not
that.
super happy about that though, because that's a very good card.
Yeah, it is because it's 2 strength.
Yeah.
So that was effective, and I'm gonna play the Tamisa for $2 because honestly, yeah, I need to get it out and I need to cycle through. So 2 more cards. There's one card in particular I think you guys can tell that I'm looking for. So, but that helps. So there's that. Okay.
All right. So
Hey Vince.
from Olbia, I will settle Nuoro. It's rough terrain.
Sorry. Hold on.
Oh.
No, finish your turn. Go.
Olbia, I need 2 wagons to reach Nuoro.
Okay. Yep.
So
I
there.
pretty much punted over there, and that feels stupid. Last game, I took over Ilaria very early,
Yes.
and then it was out of supply for most of the game because he just camped in Corsica.
And then I'm going to reserve these Libyan spearmen.
And here comes the end of the round.
1,
So-
2, 3, 4, and I have to draw the campaign. So
All right, so we have an event. Here we go. The event says, leader dies. So Carthage, 1 to 3, Rome, 4 to 6. Return 1 leader unit from your hand, reserve, or battle to the Empire deck and adjust the battle track if needed.
You know what? We forgot to give you this
Nope,
because
I didn't.
you were affected by. Oh no, that's right. Never mind.
Nope. So,
No, you were affected by this. You were affected by the.
I
leader
was,
card.
yeah, give me
Yes,
that.
So you get this.
and give me that card. Nope, that card stays.
Was
Still,
it this one?
leader's quarrel. Yeah.
No, it was only one round, wasn't it?
To the next this turn, which you're right, that goes away.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, good deal. So that leader dies here is actually 1 to 4 for Carthage. If it does not apply, then randomly discard 1 card from your hand instead.
Oof.
Oh, you get to roll though. It's an even round, so I'll hold it and you roll. So you're looking for 1 to 4. Think 1 to 4. 1 to 4.
5. How about that?
That was not good. All right. So, okay, return a leader unit from my hand, reserve, or battle.
Right.
I don't have a reserve. We don't have a battle, and I do have to show my hand, unfortunately.
Okay. And so it did not apply to you, so you randomly discard 1 card from your hand instead.
That's right. Anytime I get set up, my opponent goes raid, raid, raid. Show the folks at home. Camarina, that wasn't too bad. That's down here. Wasn't the best card you could have drawn, but it wasn't the worst card you could have drawn.
Okay. So events resolved. So we collect income.
Yep, so-
I get 3.
As do I, so I'll take 5, put 2 back.
Then we get victory points. So I've got 2, 3, 4.
5, 6.
Not that one.
5,
5,
6, 7, 8,
9.
and 9. So 9 to 29. And I think I'm still at 5, right? 4 and 5. So he's got a 10-point lead right now.
Okay. New strategy cards. That goes away.
And we have Siege Warfare. You start all land battles in fortified areas with +1 strength, whether attacking or defending. In addition, building a fortification is now a free action. You can immediately draft the fortification card as a free action. Okay.
Not bad.
All right.
And turn marker goes to 5.
All right. Yep. Okay. So we have 4 cards because I randomly lost one. So it's going to be this and this. Pillage. Thapsus.
Okay. So can't block that.
So $2.
$2.
You know what that doesn't do? Give you 3. So there we go. And that
Yep.
is nice. It's my first ever successful pillage in the history of me playing this against him. So that's nice. That's one. And then I'm going to use the money that I just got. 1, 2, 3. And let's go ahead and build a ship. That'd be 6.
Okay.
All right. We're drawing 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. So there's that. There's that. And there's that. Huh. Well, that's kind of fun. Okay. All right. Sir,
Yep.
it is your honor.
All right. So from Corrales, we can reach Oristano by wagon.
All right.
So
hold on. Let me. So he's basically completely owned Corsica and Sardinia now.
Yep. So this comes into my hand. Oops. Or discard, I mean. So that's 1. And then... Yeah, that's interesting. So I'm in a situation now where if I take money, you could just take 3 from me. I still need money. So I'll play Carthage for $4. And that is my turn.
All right. We're going to have some fun this round. Let's have some fun, shall we? Yeah, we're going to have some fun. Let's do this. 1, fight on. Here we go.
All right.
So we're going to have a naval battle for the first time. If you want, just bring that over and just set it right there. There we go. So naval battle. I had... Oh, back it up. Son of a... Glory to Rome.
Do you not have a ship card?
Never mind.
All right, then.
Okay, so I can't because he's right. I don't have a ship card. So you know what we're going to do instead? We're going to pay $6. It's the biggest Roman navy in history. Done.
Okay. That's not great.
And I will draw 2 cards. And here is what we drew. Okay.
Wow.
Vince, I'm guessing Andrew has a small daughter at home who's responsible for the fancy nails. Nailed it.
Correct.
She's obviously a fan of the Romans. Clearly.
Interesting. Ooh, this administration card is not doing much for me anymore.
What you thinking?
So, I need to get cards out of my hand, but also I don't want to get rid of the cards I have. So, this is a bad situation. Yeah, jeez. I gotta... All right, let me see your discard first for a second.
Yep. It is the opposite of Prego. It is not in there.
Okay. Okay.
The question is, could be here though.
That could be it, but it's bad odds. Interesting.
He's looking at for rating, by the way.
Yeah, I just don't know how useful this will be in the future, but you know what?
I don't, but you're about to tell us.
I don't even know if it's worth it to do this. Ugh. I could do that, but I really would rather hold on to that card.
I did not have the plans of having this ridiculous sized navy, by the way.
It really is weird. I don't know what to do about it.
Well, it's about to wreck your world once sooner rather than later. That's my goal.
I think this feels dumb, but this card is not helping me right now. So as an action, I'll discard the merchant card for free.
Okay.
And yeah, I think I'm going to buy the senatorial support card.
Which allows him to draw 3 cards.
Yes.
And as a free action, correct?
As a free action, yes. So it costs 5. So
that's both your actions?
Both my actions. So I draw up.
Equite, we're going to raid Enna. Go ahead.
Enna.
But, wait. Oh, wait, you just shuffled.
Yes.
Damn it. That was poor. I should... Mad at myself for that. I don't need to now. I don't think. Yeah. I'll play the console and bribe. I gotta pay a silver.
Yeah, I can't block that. And I pick a card to lose, right?
Hold on. If an opponent selects a card from his hand or reserve.
Oh, you pick. Okay.
Wait. No. Opponent selects. So you get.
Oh, I pick. Okay.
Yep.
Well, in that case, sorry, Celtic Infantry. You did your job.
Oh, well. All right. So there's that. That was both my actions. I have 1. So that there, and then we get to draw 1 more. Shuffle.
I do really like the fact that the people in chat are like, oh, his nails are painted. That's awesome. When I was leaving the house tonight, my wife asked me if I wanted to, remove the nail polish because, people would think I'm a wuss or something. I'm like, I don't think anyone's going to care.
No, not at all. No. I think, if anything, yeah, hey, I mean, good on you. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And that was the other draw. Okay?
I have no money. And I don't really want to spend this card. What can I do? Is there anything free I can get? I get to see if that. They can block a bribe. Ain't bad. Oh man.
You can get rid of your administration for a free action, or not as a free action. It doesn't cost money.
That's true.
Like
Yeah.
If you are wanting to get one of those.
Yeah, I may want to do that sooner rather than later. So sure, we'll do that.
So just out of the game, yep.
And I know I said this earlier, but I would never do this. But I honestly think passing might be the way to go. Just get a buck because I don't want to use these empty cards. I've only got 3. Unless
I said it's rare.
yeah,
You said you hadn't done it yet, so you're passing.
I will get a buck. Yeah, I'll pass.
All right,
So
one.
Draw back up.
Now we're having a damn naval battle. All right, so here we go. First the attacker, then the defender can add as a free action a leader. I elect not to.
I also like not to.
Okay, so now each player simultaneously rolls a die for every ship in their fleet. A 5 or a 6 sinks an enemy ship. Whoever sinks the most earns a prestige. The loser must choose to either retreat his fleet to an adjacent sea zone that contains a friendly port or send it back to its home port. If it's a draw, the defending player has the option to retreat. So if you would like to go first, sir.
Sure.
So you have 3, I have 8.
Yes.
That looks like 2 hits.
2 hits. I'll
But
take it.
they get to roll. So I get 8. So I'm hoping for 3 hits. That's a can of die, FYI. So that's 2 hits. That'll be 3 hits
hits.
so far. I mean, yes.
I mean, he's dead.
I know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, well, it's a good thing because they all whiffed.
Yes.
So I lose 2. He loses. So he's off the. No.
Yep.
No.
Oh yeah, well they're off the board. Sure.
Oh, I know. It's principle.
So they have to retreat to the home port.
They do. So Carthage no longer has a navy.
Yep.
That'll do, pig. That'll do. And that's a prestige, sir.
Yes, it is.
Done.
Right.
That is both my actions. I will draw my 1 card. And now, all of a sudden, he has a 6-size navy that is going to wreak havoc out here on the board.
Yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah, it is.
All
There we go.
right. Well, in the meantime, we are going to start a fight. So,
I'm not surprised.
Agrigentum will reach Camarina by land, so with a wagon from Clupea. And we will send in an Numidian cavalry.
All right.
So starts at 1, Numidian cavalry
for defense,
for
right?
defense, and goes 2 up because of the Numidian cavalry.
And put your battle marker out and your
Yes.
Camarina, right?
Camarina. Then as a free action, I'll pay 1, pull these guys back, and then reinforce. So both of these guys are going here.
And
So
it's
that's 2
plus
more.
2. Yep.
And these go in my discard as both my actions.
Okay. Well, it's not ideal. Okay. So there's that. First action, we're going to play the Mercator. And those for $6. Even though it's taking a risk, I assume I'm going to be able to draw better. I've had those cards in my hand since Christ was a corporal.
Okay.
And I've been waiting for you to try raids, and I can't wait anymore. I finally got the Mercator card, and I was like, finally, I might as well make use of that.
Sure.
So there's nothing I could have done for Camarina. So don't worry about here. I'll get that ready.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, it wasn't there. Never mind. Then a moment, real quick. It was over here. That's what I wanted to, at a glance. You know what? Actually, I think I could get another ship, but honestly, I don't think I want to. I'm going to go ahead and play this. Oh, I cannot. Never mind. It requires a second card. Okay, we are flush with cash. Time to turn things around now. So instead, we'll get the second Legion by playing Tarentum and $6. That makes the most sense, I think.
Okay.
There, and I have no cards.
Yeah.
So now we get to cycle through it, though, at least. I got rid of a lot of dead cards that weren't helping me. So now, did you win the battle, sir?
I did.
Okay.
So this is captured by me. Put that over there.
Oh, the irony.
I win the battle, so I get a prestige.
Yep.
These guys are coming back here.
Do you wish to settle?
I do.
Which doesn't have a
Right.
it doesn't have a colonist symbol here. Hold on. So therefore, he can just settle it for free.
Take this back.
And FYI, at the end of the game, he has 7 currently.
Then I get that card from you.
Right. Which I don't think I had because I couldn't. Yeah. So it's going to be in here. There. So he gets that. So now we shuffle. Mm-hmm. You know what? I get a chance to look at it real quick. So, okay.
All right. I'm going to look at your discard real quick. Okay.
Cut. It's a thin deck, but...
Okay.
Nope.
All right. As my first action, I will raid in Syracuse.
Nope.
Okay. It's a long shot, but thought it was worth it. Then we will... Yeah. We'll play Utica for $3.
Okay.
That is both my actions, so this comes off. Okay. Draw up.
Moment.
We're not using the upkeep strategy cards.
We're not playing the variant, no.
Yeah. That would be interesting to try. And yeah, I don't think this is related to A Few Acres of Snow besides the mechanics, right, Edward?
Yeah, no, it was built upon, it was inspired by A Few Acres of Snow.
But totally different designer, different company.
Daniel Berger, who I know he gave homage to Martin, but no. You know what? I'm going to play the Magistrate here to bring out the 4th Legion at half cost. So it's going to cost, hold on one second. Son of a...
Do you not have the colonist?
Or maybe not the $3.
Oh, not $3 also?
I don't know. All right, I'm going to use the Magistrate to get $4. And then I'm going to bring the 4th Legion in with the colonists there. So that's $6.
Okay.
Done. And I will draw 3 cards.
All right.
We drew that and those.
Things are going to get dicey pretty quickly here. So, okay, from Lily Biome, we're going to settle Heraclea using the wagon from the New World card.
Okay.
So that goes there. And I get this.
Hey, Brian. Hey, if you guys are enjoying this, don't forget to give it a thumb down below. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want, support the show over on pledgehc.com. Definitely would appreciate it, yo.
You know what? I've been eyeing this thing for a long time.
Take the loyalty
I'm
card.
taking the loyalty card.
All right. And what does loyalty do?
So loyalty means Rome has to bribe me by paying 3 silver instead of just 1.
Okay.
And I ignore mercenary revolt, and rebellion doesn't affect developed locations.
So those two.
So those are 2 events. Yeah.
And this is the spine card came out as an action. Pay 1 silver to look at your opponent's hand or reserve. Maybe the reserve is supposed to be face down then.
Oh, is it?
Apparently so.
Oh.
Or spend 2 to look at the top random event or strategy card. Or spend 3 to look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's draw deck and rearrange them in any order. However, you cannot reorder the campaign card. So.
I could have. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but I could have sworn that.
So you're done, right?
Yeah. Yeah, place it face up in the box marked reserve.
Okay.
Put cards in the reserve are placed face up in our public information.
Okay.
Okay. So there's an optional hidden reserve rule.
Aha.
So as a variant, you could play.
So
with
then
reserve.
that would okay.
Gotcha.
That makes sense. Right. Okay. Oh boy. Five cards left. Okay. I'm going to discard this into the Empire deck, first off, so Pisa's going to go away. Is it? 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 Yeah, it is. Okay. That's 1. And... Oh, this is frustrating. I don't know what to do. Here is my hand. This doesn't really help those, so it doesn't make sense to do that. Plus, I don't... You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, honestly, right now, that, and that all work. Well, not this. So you know what? My second action. Oof. I'm gonna put my console in the reserve. I think. Well, yeah, because I am. That's both my actions. Done.
Okay.
This and this.
I'm gonna use the magistrate to get $4. And Hippo Regius to get 2 more.
And you're done?
Done.
All right, Regium is going to go ahead. Pick a city that is here. And your
Okay.
discard. Lily Bomb, I think, is in there.
Yes, it
All right,
is.
let's go with that.
We will block that with a fortification.
Okay. So there's that. Then, now we will. I cannot. Oh, that's frustrating right now because he blocked that. You know what? I'm going to use this to develop that. Yeah. So I'm going to use Thuria to develop Velia. Thuri to develop Velia. Done. Drawing 3 cards, which are the last 3 in my deck.
Mm-hmm. There's 3 in here.
Okay.
I don't like those.
We have not done a stream for Polish yet. We will be doing one ahead of Gen Con when the new version from Devere comes out. And Caesar's Gallic War is one that I have but would like to stream as well.
All right. I'll pay 5 and get a general.
Okay.
So this is all gone.
I tried to get some of that money.
You did.
I tried.
And I'll put this Olbia card in my Empire deck.
Okay, so Olbia is now in his Empire. All right, and you're done?
That is it.
Okay. Hold on.
That's annoying.
Hold on. Sorry. Anna, we're raiding it.
Rating? I will block it.
Right. So that's 1. Oh, shh. I made a mistake. I didn't mean to do that this round. Very, very upset at myself right now. Maybe I can get away with it. Hold on. Nope. Actually, that's okay because I couldn't have done what I wanted to do. Yes, I could have. Son of a...
It's another GTR to yourself.
Yeah. Way to Rome to me. God. Did things in the wrong order. And I can't back it up because he showed me he had a card and all that. So. Oh, that angers me. So I might as well just say what I was 1, 2.
Yes.
And it would have cost him 5 points.
That
it would have
is-
cost him, which is what I planned on doing, and I got lost in my head.
That is what I was afraid you were going to do for a
That's
while.
what I was going to do because there's only 2 cards left in the campaign. Yeah, Edward is Edward's worst enemy tonight. Very, very unpleased at myself. I will... I'll play Naples for $3. Am I? Yeah, done. I hate it, but that's it. I'm drawing, so you're up. Just really upset at myself about that. So if I lose by 5 points, there you go. All right. Grrr.
Interesting.
I'm going to blame it on having to run all the cameras. Totally 100% blaming it on that.
Definitely
Not
that.
really.
Okay. I'm gonna
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna develop Ilaria. So I have a Ilaria card and a colonist.
Okay.
So that goes there.
Lay it down, will you?
Oh, sure.
And those are the two that I drew.
And second. Wow, that is interesting. Do I? I probably need to keep that.
That was a terrible draw.
So again, I'm gonna pass and get one coin. It's a knight of first. All right, so draw and then campaign.
So irritated at myself. All right, so we have an event. I have the
You have the thing. Yep,
marker.
the
Here we go.
Fortuna.
We have Mercenary Revolt. Hey, I'm okay with this. So it's anything but a 6 is Carthage for me right now.
Okay.
Pay 3 silver, which he doesn't have. For each mercenary unit in your hand, reserve, or battle, return unpaid units to the Empire deck, adjust the battle track, and if you have loyalty, you ignore it.
So I ignore it if it affects me.
All right. Well, that sucks. So it's odd. I roll. Yep, goes back in. All right.
5.
So did help me. Unfortunately, he gets to ignore it. That sucked. All right. Income. 1, 2, 3, 4. I get $4.
So do you lose this even though the event did nothing to me?
I will look that up. So I get 4. Get yours.
Right. I get 1, 2,
have the
3,
rules.
4.
We'll look it up afterwards. No big
Sure.
deal. Victory points. Well, there's 5. Damn it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12?
5, 6, 7. Yeah, 12.
Golly. So it goes to 41. That's not good. 3, 4, 5. That is not good. There. It's 24 to 41. Remember, 25-point lead, and it's over.
Yep.
Hey, Vince, you're welcome to try and do it.
All right. Strategy card.
And bump the round marker. Oh, yep. Celtic
And
Allies.
6.
You start all land battles with a +1 when attacking, but it's only
Carthage.
Only Carthage, which that sucks. However, you start all land battles in fortified areas with a +1 strength.
Whether attacking or defending.
Yeah.
And fortification is a free action, which is nice.
You've got to get the right cards, but yes.
Yeah.
All right, so it's my turn.
Yep.
First and foremost, we're going to fortify Masana for 3. There. And I'm going to bury Tamisa.
Okay.
So draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And okay.
Okay. My turn?
Yep.
Let's get this started. All right. So from Thermi, we can attack Tyndaris using a wagon. So we'll use Panormus's card for that. And we'll start the attack with the Greek mercenaries.
Okay.
So those go here, this goes here. This
So it
starts at 1 and then
goes
gets
to 1.
goes to 1.
And
Yep, thank you.
To Tyndaris.
And I think I will spend $4 to bring the Celtic infantry and put them right on top.
Okay.
So draw it back up, and that is my turn.
We'll go ahead and play the Velia card. Bump it back 1.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, what the hell? It's not really how I wanted. A moment. Where's that? I'm only at 4. You know what? I'm going to spend 4 for the Allied infantry. And those guys will go there.
Oh, the location you used in the battle.
Sorry, thank you.
Okay.
Go there, and I will draw 1 card, and you're up.
All right, so I'm not winning, so the battle continues. And I will reinforce with this Celtic infantry, and then with this Numidian cavalry. So I'm at 3.
Okay, done?
Done.
I'm going to play my Magistrate for 2 silver. Draw 2 cards. So that was 1 action, and don't have a choice.
Okay, so this goes back to 1.
Yep.
Okay, so we're on to battle round 3. Still not winning. So, let's see. We'll play the Magistrate to collect 2 money and 2 cards. And play Hippana to add 1 sword to the battle. So we're at 2.
All right, done?
Yep.
You didn't really get a free pass. The Equite is going to be 1. There.
So 1.
I'm going to play 30 for the $2.
Okay. All right.
Drawing 2 cards.
So last round of this, I can add in Libyan cavalry. Fortunately, I can't do anything else for that, but I can trade. So I'll use the ship and get $4.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah. There you go.
Sure.
Yep. There. Okay.
So $4. Those go to my discard, and that is both my actions. And you're up. Oh, now you show up. God.
All right. I hate doing it, but I have to. I cannot lose this battle, so I'm going to make him lose it. I'm going to pay $1 to pull back my reserve to put my consul in as a free action. That's 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then 2, 3.
Very nice.
And there's that. goes back to you. Oh, I draw my 2 cards. A moment.
Yep.
So there's
So
that, and there's that.
So we have to resolve the battle.
Right.
You're winning it.
I won. So now we look at cavalry.
Yes.
Okay. Who played the most cavalry?
I have 2.
I have 1. I have 2. Damn it, I only have 2.
So we tie.
So the reason this matters is if he had only played 1 or I had played 3, then I would get to choose what card goes back to his Empire deck.
Right.
But as it is, ties or more for him, he gets to choose.
Right.
But I get the...
You get the bump here.
There.
I'm going to lose the Celtic infantry. They're doing their job. These guys go here. And yeah, that's it.
And that comes off the board as well.
Yep.
Okay. And it's now your turn.
Not what I wanted, but, you know. So, in that case,
That was a good use of my reserve, I feel like, with my leader to do that.
It was. Definitely was. Interesting. Oh, man. So, another weakness of the Carthage player is that they don't have many colonists on their cards. And colonists are very important.
And there are some out here.
There are. Yeah, so I'm considering drafting, getting the colonist from my deck, which is slightly cheaper than the neutral one. Oh. It's still $4 though. And you have 6 ships still. Sure.
I assure you I won't forget that again, though. So you will not get those 5 points anymore.
Yeah, I didn't think I would.
Yeah.
All right, I'll pay 4 for my colonists.
Okay. Is that 1 or 2 actions? Sorry.
That's only 1.
Okay.
Second action. This is almost a really good hand. Second action. You know what? This is going to become a dead card very soon anyway, so I'm going to put Nuoro into my Empire deck.
Okay.
And be done.
All right. So I'm up. Pillage.
Okay. I cannot block that.
Okay,
Or,
so-
well, you have to pick a card, a color, I guess.
One that's in here.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
fair.
All right.
Sure.
You're
Hip on.
just trying to save time, right?
Yeah.
Or it has to be a coastal.
Yeah.
So,
Panormus.
Panormus.
Yeah, that works. And I can't block that.
So I'll take my $3, please.
Yep.
And that $3 is immediately going to go in to get a Legion, along with Terransum there to be able to do so. So the 3rd Legion is coming out. Done.
Okay.
Draw 2 cards. Those are the 2 we just drew.
I will spend Lily Bomb for $3 and then use the $3 immediately to build a ship.
That's cute. All right.
Let's go here.
Mercator, and that for 4. Which that 4 is immediately going to be to purchase the Mercenary Cav. There, and I will draw 3 cards. 1, 2, and shuffle.
Okay.
Every day. That's what I drew so far. Okay. And 5.
Oh, you know what? We forgot to look up if you kept the Fortuna thing.
All right.
I'll just double check.
Okay.
Must actually be affected. Stricken by a negative event. All right, it's ambiguous. I don't know. I would assume you keep it because the event
It didn't help me, right?
Yeah.
Because okay. Take your turn. I'll look. You must actually be affected by a negative event in some way to receive the token, which I did. So if you are hit by storms at sea, but you don't have any ships, you don't get the token because it didn't hurt you. Whether or not the modifier actually helped you. So, if while in possession, your opponent is stricken by a negative event, I would argue you weren't affected by the negative event.
That's my argument.
By the loyalty, so
Right.
therefore I would say I keep it.
That would be my argument.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that in
That seems
spirit
fair.
of the rule.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, I'm going to put the merchant card back on my Empire deck because I feel like it has outlived its usefulness.
Okay.
And I'm going to preserve these Libyan spearmen.
Okay.
Okay. Your turn.
Oh man. Yeah, I guess I could. I'll be honest. So, look down. I don't really have anything to do with these two cards right now, but I need to get them out of my hand. So, I think that the most reasonable thing to do is, I think, I'll use Rome to develop Regium. So that's one action. The second action I think the time has come to bring out the Tribune. I pay 3 silver and then get a card from the discard and put it into my hand. It's a good, oh, I really need that card right now. So now that's it. I will draw 2 cards. It's your turn.
Okay.
Drew those 2, which again, not ideal, but this.
All right, I need...
Because y'all see what's the plan is here. All right. All right. Fawn says, yeah, Andrew was not affected, so therefore.
Yeah, I'm not getting the things I need. Jeez.
That was me for a number of turns. I feel your pain, but at the same time, neener.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. I gotta slowly build back up. So we'll spend the Carthage card
For 4.
for 4. But then we will also spend 3 of that in Agrigentum for the
Fortified.
colonists to get another ship.
Oh, another ship. Okay.
Okay, that is my turn.
I'll play the Magistrate for $2 and 2 cards. And for the second action, I will develop Masana using a moment. 30.
Okay.
And done.
Okay.
And I will draw 1 card.
Let me see this. I'll put actually, maybe not.
False start, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm going to put Corrales in my Empire deck.
And where is Corrales?
Down there.
All right.
And
That's pretty much exactly how it's playing out, Sue.
yeah, we're going to try to raid Syracuse.
And you have to have a card that blocks Syracuse or play the Syracuse card.
Right.
You got it.
Oh, man. All right.
That hurt.
Okay.
Although everything's still in supply, so it didn't crush me.
Yeah, right, because you got that locked down with the ship.
Well, plus everything is within
Yes,
2 of
right.
there. So, you're
That's
done?
still nice, though. Yeah, I'm done, because that was 2 actions. Oh, there's that card. Jesus.
How many cards are in your draw deck?
There are 3.
Well, 4.
Or 4, yeah, with the campaign.
One? No. Check that. Those are going in the reserve.
Okay.
So that'll be 2 cards.
Okay. I'm going to play
This is really painful right now.
Senatorial Support.
Which...
I take the top 3 cards from my draw deck.
Aw, come on, man. Come on.
This is a free action.
Ah.
And I'm going to, yep.
That might have won you the game.
That might have done it, because, yeah, I'm going to settle Syracuse from Camarina. What else can I do with these? Not much.
Have a good night, Franny.
We'll put Clupea into the Empire deck, which is over here. I'll take the Syracuse card. Thank you.
That hurt. I think the game's over. I think so.
That was.
I rolled the dice.
That was very lucky.
I couldn't stop it, and so I was
Well.
like, "Can I wait until next turn?" Because because of you can look. I've had 4 legions in my hand,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and then I can't draw anything to attack. I haven't been able to do a single thing on that.
I've kind of had the same thing here, which is why I haven't attacked you. So that raid was super lucky. Yeah. Okay. So the campaign happens.
All right, so an event happens first.
Yep.
All right, so is that even? So you get to roll for this one. So here we go. It is.
Oh, this one again.
Yeah, awesome. Storms at sea. So it's a 3 to 6, but nope. Check that. It's a 4 to 6 against me. Destroy half my warships. Because the way it's rolling right now, that kind of makes sense. So 4 through 6 pretty much ends the game, as if it's not over already.
2.
It doesn't.
So it's me.
So half. So you lose 1.
Or no, mine are in port, right?
If not important, you're right.
Yeah.
They are. So you're safe.
Yeah, and I think you still keep that then.
Because again, it did not affect you.
Yes.
Okay, so collect income. By the way, I switched gears to try and go for that. By the way,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get $6.
I get 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep, fortification at Syracuse is critical. That is true. All right, so points. I'll score mine first. I'll score my 1. Hold on. Okay, good. All right, so 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. And
Plus
you
5,
get
15.
15. So that's going to be there and there. So it's 25 to 56. Good game.
Good game.
All right.
That did not go the way I thought it was going to go also. So
Yeah, well, I didn't. I really did not plan on doing that heavy into shipping the ships.
Yeah.
And you kept spending the money whenever I had ships and whenever I didn't have ships. You had my. It was like.
That's the thing. As soon as you had that ship advantage, I was like, I gotta keep my money low to discourage pillaging.
Right.
And then when I had a lot of money, I was usually trying to hold on to fortification to block the pillage attempts.
Yep.
But it's like I think. Because the last time we played, I went heavy on ships, and I think it bit me too. So there's an interesting.
No,
thing.
I don't think. What I think is, I think I failed to fortify Syracuse. Yeah. I'll be honest. I don't think I ever got a chance. I don't think I ever. Let me rephrase that. I don't think I ever was created the chance. So I was never gifted it by the draw.
Right.
Number one, and I never manipulated things.
Like you never held on to one or the other until you had the other card.
Because if you fortify Syracuse, you cannot. It
can be rated.
Horses aren't good against walls.
It turns out.
So had I done that, and that should have been a priority, but I lost sight of it, and then
I'm amazed you didn't go up here earlier.
I lost sight of it. I planned on it, and then I got sidetracked like squirrel.
Yeah.
And it just,
because I spent so much time, like I said earlier, like I don't have a lot of colonists in my deck, so I was just like struggling to get the colonists so that I could just build up my navy to somewhat fight you, and that you could have parked there and I wouldn't have been able to move you for at least.
No, I know,
turns.
but all that would have done is prevent you from getting what ended up being 10 points.
It would have prevented me from getting points. It also would have made all these cards dead for me.
I forgot about that.
That's huge.
There is that.
That is huge.
So what we're talking about is Corrales. Obviously, you put some of these away, but Corrales, Oristano, Noro, what is that?
Olbia,
and all
basically
of those
5 cards are just dead.
You're right,
which is
completely
huge.
dead. Which.
Yeah.
Yep, I forgot about that. So that was.
Yeah, and I intentionally early on in the game, like I jumped straight to Olbia to try to block you out of here.
Which you did, because in the last game I did get onto Corsica.
Yeah, and I couldn't kick you off.
Quickly.
It was basically impossible.
Right. So, mistakes were made, but even so, you guys saw that it was starting, like the engine was just, it was like an engine on a diesel on a cold day.
Yeah.
It was getting there. If it got rolling, and that's the thing with Carthage, they tend to have an advantage early. The longer the game goes on, Rome tends to have an advantage.
Yeah, and
because if we had gone, because that was actually it would have been round 7.
Yeah.
With all of the army that I had coming out, I was about to
just steamroll.
Yes.
Yeah, and that I think Carthage has to do everything it can to slow that down. Like. There was an early battle there where you lost a legion, and that was huge.
No, I didn't lose.
Oh, that's right, you lost
but it required some manipulation.
Yes.
But I thought it was pretty cool that I was able to do that.
Right, and there was that other battle where you were like, I can't afford to lose this, and so you spent a bunch of stuff to win it. But that meant you couldn't do other things.
Well, exactly. I was trying to keep my stuff in reserve to actually go
fight
on
me.
the attack, right? As opposed to the defense.
Yeah, a big part of this, I think, is you need to be on the offensive.
Yes.
Like, if you're not on the offensive, like, you'll get points, but you're not pushing ahead.
Right, you still got to get there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
End game points is great, but
yeah.
you've got to make it to the end game. And like somebody in chat said earlier, most games don't go 12 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually a KO at some point before that.
Right,
or something. Let me rephrase that. There are triggers that trigger the end of the game before that.
Right, and I had one town token like would have triggered the end of the game.
Notice that.
Yeah. Which it would have been hard to do.
It would have been really hard, especially without a navy.
Yeah.
So,
But I was hoping that once you moved out of here over here, I could like.
Well, and that was part of the reason that I kept my navy here was if you were doing anything, you couldn't use any ships, and I could.
Right.
So it gave me an advantage, I thought, but it's brutal.
Yeah.
The fact that you have one naval marker.
Yes. Yeah.
I cannot stress how both frustrating but also highly strategic that makes this game.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just a huge breadth of, like, this game played out completely differently from the one we played earlier this week.
Yes.
So
and this is extraordinarily well thought of by those that enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a Waro, right? I mean, it's a 2-player deck builder.
Yeah.
deck deconstruction, all of that, wargame, Euro, hybrid, but I think it's fantastic for what it does, man. And
it does the same thing if Few Acres of Snow does, where it models the sort of logistics challenge of like, you own a bunch of territory, how do you keep control of it? Everything's just confused and it's hard to get things where you want it to be and get the supplies where you want them to go. And so like that abstraction in the deck is just such a, I mean, it's not, it didn't start with this game, but it's just like a brilliant idea that I'm glad was re-implemented in this.
Yep. And the events, I mean, you know me, I'm usually anti crazy randomness, but given the time period that this is, it models it very well because things were chaotic on a constant basis.
Yeah.
And the one card that we took out, I mean, there's Epidemic in here.
Yes.
That's if currently involved in a siege, you lose a unit. That's
Not great.
But the Naval Disaster, playing with the softer version. This can be that if your fleet is not in port, roll a die, and you just lose your entire fleet. What the softer one is, whoever it is, and it's 1 to 2 on Carthage, 3 to 6. You know what? Here, I'll show you guys this instead of me talking about it. So this is the softer version. Keep that in mind. Right there. If your fleet's not in port, roll a die, destroy that many of your warships. And it's obviously worse for the Romans because the Romans are not naval folk.
Not usually.
In the Corvus, that's not good. It makes it worse. Okay? So, yeah.
Yeah, the strategy card aspect of this, I
never got a strategy card.
Right.
And I feel like that was a massive mistake as well.
Well, and me cycling the cards that you wanted was huge.
Oh, that was frustrating. That was frustrating.
Because all 3 of those, I was like, if he gets any of those, that's bad. I got to get rid of them. And like the shipbuilding one, the pillaging one, any of those would have been hugely helpful to you.
Yep.
That pillaging one is nasty.
Well, the pillaging one would have been, but by the time I had started building up my navy, I never really revisited it. I kind of written it off because I didn't have a real big navy at that point.
Right.
Had I, then I would have been like,
right.
And because discarding cards on top of the money would have just been crippling to him.
Losing one card can just destroy any plans you had for your turn.
So yeah, there's that. Brian says, enjoyed the play of this. I look forward to similar games, given Wallace's Mythotopia shot. Up to 4 players, we have that, so there's that. And Fond FF says, this is one of my favorites. I know the game is balanced, but I just can't get a handle on Rome, so I feel Edward's pain. Well played, Andrew. I like the strategy card variants.
I'll just say, you won the last time we played as Rome.
As Rome, right.
Yeah.
And again, I sustained early.
Right.
But also, he rolled like crap.
That's true.
And the storms, it was the naval, it was the storms at sea. No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was just it was a massive battle at sea.
I had 6 ships to your 3. You rolled 3 hits and I rolled 1.
Or 3 to 4, something like that. Or 6 to 4, I think it might have been.
6 to 4, yeah.
And I had a massive, and it just swung huge at that point. Yep.
But still, I think, but that also, you definitely like sustained out and like prevented me from, like, I never got past like this line in Sicily.
Yeah. There definitely was a hard, demilitarized that basically was right here. Everything to the right was red, everything to the left was blue.
Yeah.
Until it wasn't, because I got the engine rolling.
Right.
And when I got the engine rolling, it was all she wrote. So Again, I haven't played this enough to speak to balance. I feel like it is, though, just...
I feel like...
I thoroughly enjoyed this
game. I
game.
totally love it, yeah. I think... I remember reading something on BGG about, Carthage... I know this isn't, like, broken, but just, like, a general Carthage strategy is just, like, plopping town tokens down as fast as possible to end the game as quickly as possible.
Yep.
Which I could see being a
And then it comes into pillaging and everything to prevent as best you can raiding and pillaging.
Yeah, but I think if the both players know that, then Rome can work to prevent it. So it's like I think this avoids the Few Acres of Snow issue of, and again, I also have not looked up whatever the Halifax Hammer is.
Right.
But
Ignorance is bliss in that case.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't see this having that same, like, this feels so tight. And so...
From what I've heard, it's impossible what happens in that game is impossible to happen in this. And that was a design core
Yeah.
was to make sure of that.
Yeah, which makes sense.
So there you go. I actually interviewed Daniel Berger on the podcast a long time ago. 4, maybe 5 years ago. So if you guys are interested in that, go to heavycardboard.com or your favorite podcast app and go way back. I don't remember when it was, but way, way back. And I interviewed Daniel Berger and we talked about Hands in the Sea. So there's that. All right. So good job, man. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
And, you know, your kind of, I don't know, get out of jail pass.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put you on the spot, but in a perfect world, if everything continues the way it's going, I'm hoping that you and I can do like one of these a week.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
during this.
I like kind of as I've already explained, this is kind of my carved out thing that I will go out for, and everything else is
You stay at
sidelined.
home.
Like I'm playing games over Skype or Zoom or whatever,
Right,
or
yep.
you know, tabletop simulator or whatever else, and
Right.
I'm like not going out at all except for this, and I think that is reasonable.
Right, and you get around me,
Yeah,
and that's it.
yeah,
So, yeah, I think we're being responsible about it. We're being smart about it, but also trying to not go nuts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you guys saw
trying to be reasonable.
Yeah, last night I did the cocktail hour with Clay because, I mean, I saw you the night before, but outside of that, like, I don't really see a lot of humans because I
Yeah.
don't have a family here. I see Jess on occasion, but it's just, yeah, I don't see a lot. So I think we're being pretty responsible about that and smart. So that was,
Oh man, we are definitely considering Nevsky. Let me tell you.
yes,
I'm
that's going to
huge.
be later in the month.
Yes.
Just FYI.
That's going to require some practice.
Exactly, and that's the thing. So we need to be able to get together to
but
be able
I
to play that
am
enough.
super excited about that game.
I know we had, and I'm not going to commit to anything, but some of the games that you and I had talked about were a couple of Hollandspiel titles, Supply Lines of North America, right? Is that what the
Supply
title
Lines
is?
of the Revolution? Northern.
Yeah.
There's a North
Supply
and a
Lines,
South.
yes.
Yeah.
So there's that. There was This Guilty Land we had talked about. Optimales and Populares, which is also a Roman Republic politics game. Unhappy King Charles, basically any two-player war game.
Yeah.
So there's that. All right. Oh, there you go. And Vince just linked to it. The interview was July 29th, 2014. So almost 6 years ago, I interviewed Daniel Berger about this, about the design. So there you go. Thanks, Vince, for the link. Awesome. Cool. All right. So you got anything else?
No. I'm excited. I think, two-player games are in the future for us, right?
Yeah.
That seems what it is.
So I know. So tomorrow I have Freedom, the Underground Railroad. That's going to be solo. Then Field Commander Napoleon on Saturday. Then on Monday we have a 3-player, me, Jess, and Derek. Which again, nobody's really left their house, so we're okay with that. That's going to be. Oh God, a game. Mighty Boards. A game on Monday.
I don't remember.
It's been a long week. So, all right, there we go. So we'll see you guys then. I'm Edward.
Andrew.
You guys have a great night. History of Rome podcast, Mike Duncan. If you like that, go listen to it. Cannot recommend it enough. Really, Supply Lines of the American
Yes.
Revolution.
Northern Theater, Southern Theater,
There you
different
go.
games.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to bug out. He's going to go home. We'll catch you guys later. Take care, everybody. Bye. I can't believe... I'm just... I'm upset that I let you get Corsica and Sardinia uncontested.
Oh, I was
essentially.
living in terror. I was just like, I got to burn through my deck as fast as possible. Just gotta go.
Yeah, but the fact that I missed it that one time just is going to stick in my craw. Son of a...